Only trying to be heard about the din of 15 cash registers gobbling up America's hard-earned dollars.
You were accusing me of being extravagant with our money.
I merely asked why you ran out of money again this week when we increased the food budget every week for the last 2 months.
Ha! Well, someone told the supermarket. For example, wheat treats. Marked 68 cents. Then gets crossed out and they put 76 cents. Then today they charge you 79 cents for a box of wood shavings. Why are you opening those? You hate wheat treats. Those are for Mildred.
I'm looking for the iron-on patch.
We better let Mildred put this stuff away. We're going to be late. We're supposed to be at the Lobster Trap at 6:45.
Why?
It's the opening of the Civic Light Opera House. Can't you remember anything? The Merry Widow. You're going to love my dress. It's blue. It's got a little fringe top, kind of wiggles when I walk. We're going to have such a good time.
And what am I supposed to wear? Last month you loaned my tuxedo to Jim Hansen. He hasn't returned it yet.
I know. I went to a rental shop and got you another one. It's in the closet.
All right, as long as it's black and it doesn't have black ruffles.
It doesn't have any ruffles and it is black. Don't panic.
Well, goodbye.
Hello,
Commissioner, Mrs. McMillan. I'm going to my sister's. It's a family crisis. We fear a sudden case of insanity.
Your sister?
No, me.
All right, Mildred. What's going on?
Well, this arrived for you, Commissioner, about an hour ago.
Mildred.
Well, I steamed it open in case it was good news, and I could seal it up again and surprise you.
Then it's bad news.
Well, let's look at it this way, Commissioner. It's good news if you're the kind of person who can look on an epidemic and think of it as a great chance to do medical research.
Arrive 8:05 Tuesday the 10th.
The 10th. That's today.
Flight 5:20. Can't wait to see you both. Love. Mother.
Mother? Whose mother?
I'll give you a hint. I'm leaving.
Wait a minute. Where's it from?
Marrakesh.
My mother can't even spell Marrakesh. It's your mother.
My very thought, Mrs. McMillan.
She's going to be arriving right in the middle of the baked Alaska. Mildred, as long as you're deserting us, why don't you open the door on your way out to the unemployment office?
Oh, well, no one can accuse you of being subtle. I'll give you that.
Muriel. I'll bet you don't remember me.
Oh, I bet I do.
Mother.
Sally. Beatrice. Beatrice, good to see you again.
What do you want me to do with this?
You really want to know?
It's delightful to see you, Mother, but you're not supposed to be here until 8:05 tonight.
Nonsense. Here I am. Why? Flight 8:05 arriving at 5:20.
I knew there'd be a reasonable explanation.
And you're not to go out of your way for me. This is to be a short visit. You won't even know I'm here.
You know that bird talks.
No, could you hum a few bars?
How was your trip?
Simply marvelous. I was seated next to this perfectly wonderful little man from Libya. Well, I think it was Libya. Anyway, one of those countries where there are nothing but sand. And he didn't drink. Not a drop. Something to do with his religion, you know, like the WCTU, so I had his. Oh, dear. I'm just so exhausted.
Would you like another drink?
Oh, well, I suppose one more wouldn't hurt. And tomorrow I'll tell you all about Meg and Randy and that delightful little place they have on the Big Island, you know, Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, your visit sure did catch us by surprise, Beatrice. We did have an appointment at 6:45. I suppose you'd probably like to go right to bed.
Oh, indeed I would, but I can't, I'm afraid.
Looks like we're the in place to be this season.
Today's the 10th, you know, October 10th. Andy Kennesaw's 90th birthday.
Who?
Well, he's one of the dearest people I know. He was a business partner of your grandfather's. Surely you remember my talking about him.
Well, no, not really.
Well, anyway, he wrote to me in Marrakesh. The dear man said I simply had to come back for his birthday celebration. He says he has some fantastic news, something that's going to make us absolutely rich. Isn't that wonderful?
It sounds great.
And we're all invited. But, of course, if you two have something planned, you run right along. I'll try to get there by myself.
Mother,
I'm sure I can still find my way around this city, even though it's dark.
Mother, I am not going to let you spend your first night back home alone.
Besides, we'll just all go to the party for... Is it Charlie?
Andy.
Andy. We could all go over to Andy's birthday, wish him a happy birthday, and then duck out and still make it to the theater and the cast party after, right?
Right. Now, where is the celebration?
So she looks up at me with these big cow eyes of hers and says, "Now tell me the truth, Andy. Am I the first girl you ever...
Andy.
Am I the first girl you ever kissed?" And I said, "I don't know, honey. Were you in a motel room in Albuquerque about 6 years ago?"
If she was, she would have remembered.
Hey, where's the champagne?
Champagne? Where's the dancing girl? Dancing girl? They took one look at you and they went home. I bet your old lady don't even know you're out tonight. He sure does, and so does my wife.
Listen, I don't think the kids are having such a good time.
They certainly are.
Well, as soon as cake's served, we'll let them go. You know, you and I have got a lot of talking to do, little B. Tomorrow, we're going to drop the lid on the stuck-up little fella named Preston Halsey. Now, he thinks he can scare me. But I tell you, if we work this right, we're going to be rich.
Here she comes!
Well,
For he's a jolly good fellow,
For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow.
that nobody can deny.
well, now isn't that nice? You know, if I'd known I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself.
Andy, not yet. First the cake, then the toast, then you can drink.
Seems like a lot of trouble for just a drink of champagne.
Make a wish, Andy.
Oh, yes.
It was the onions. Those dreadful creamed onions.
Beatrice, try and relax. Honestly, you have to expect things like this when you get on in years. Well, I mean, that many years.
Doctor.
Are you Beatrice McMillan?
Yes, I am.
He wants to speak to you, but only for a few moments. He's been sedated. How is he? I don't want to alarm Mrs. McMillan.
Well, he is going to be all right.
I think so. It's just that his collapse may not have been from natural causes.
What?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not going to say anything prematurely. I'll call you in the morning after the lab tests are in.
B?
It's all right, Andy.
Coat pocket. Envelope. Be strong. Be. Don't sell. No matter what. Don't sell. Worth millions. Secret. Secret.
Doctor.
He's just asleep.
Oh.
What's the matter, man?
I don't know. Mother, I guess. Coming home and dashing off to bed like that, it's not like her.
Oh, she's just tired.
She's not that tired. She's up to something.
Was that?
A noise?
I know it was a noise. You're not going down there. Mac, don't you watch television? You're supposed to call the police.
I am the police.
I don't mean that. This is no time to be a hero.
Shh.
Hands up or shoot!
Mildred, you scared the hell out of me.
Well, I heard these noises down here, and I didn't know what to do about it.
It wasn't me.
Well, it wasn't me. Oh.
Mother.
Stuart, you frightened me.
Oh, you McMillan sure scare easy.
What are you doing down here?
Looking for something in all this old stuff I've been storing here for years. Here it is. I knew it would be here somewhere. Must be 75 years old.
The Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation?
Your grandfather's company, Stuart. Oh, I'm sure I've told you.
No.
He and Andy were business partners. Kennesaw, McMillan, Kennebec.
No, you never told me.
And tonight, Andy gave me his proxy for 1,000 shares. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to the stockholders' meeting, and I'm going to vote not to sell.
Not to sell what?
Our shares, I presume.
Listen, if anybody offers you $1.87, I'd grab it.
Mother, let me get this clear. Tomorrow morning,
At 11 o'clock.
you're going to a meeting with this musty, worthless certificate and vote not to sell 1,100 shares of a company that's been forgotten over 75 years?
Oh, dear. It does sound kind of foolish, doesn't it? But I have a wonderful idea, Stuart. You could come with me. Oh, you'd be such a help. I just know it.
Well, I'd like to, Mother, but tomorrow I've got a lot of work to do.
Sure you have.
Maybe Mrs. McMillan can go.
I intend to, Muriel.
She means Sally, Mother.
Oh, do you think she would? Oh, it'd be so nice for us to have some time together.
Oh, she'd love to. I'm sure of it.
Poison?
A minute amount of cyanide. Not enough to kill him, but right now he's in a coma, and it's getting deeper.
Oh, no. All right, thank you, Doctor.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Somebody tried to poison that sweet old man.
Sir?
Yes, sir?
Get me the precinct commander in Daly City. Andy Kennesaw. Somebody poisoned his champagne. Mother stopped him before he could drink the whole glass.
Sir, I'd be glad to help out on that investigation. I've got a very light schedule today.
Good.
If you could just swing a replacement for me tonight.
Replacement?
Well, I've been asked to give a speech at the police academy tonight on the importance of proper reporting procedures in felony investigations, and frankly, sir,
Oh, no, you can't. Daly City has jurisdiction.
Sir, you've got to let me. Please. Well, I'm a man of action, not of words, and this speech has got me tied up in knots. My hands are shaking.
You'll do just fine.
What if my knees knock?
Wear a baggy suit.
Will that help?
No, you'll do just fine. Listen, do you know anything about the stock market?
Well, I do own a few odd lots, blue chip stocks mostly.
You ever heard of Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation?
No, sir. Is it listed on the big board?
I don't think it's listed anywhere. Would you check it out?
Well, I don't know if my stockbroker is into that issue, but I'll find out what he knows, sir.
Okay.
Would you like to hear it now?
What?
My speech.
The Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation. Yes?
Captain Jameson of Daly City on the line, sir.
Thank you. Captain, good morning. Listen, we got an attempted murder on your FWV hall last night. Would you check it out and keep me posted? And put a guard in the hospital, huh?
Looks like you were right, Mr. Halsey. Small turnout. We'll get through this without any trouble.
Oh, I expect we're going to hear from Leibowitz.
We can handle him.
My daughter-in-law was supposed to come with me today, but she's home, recovering from an upset stomach.
The annual stockholders meeting of the Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation will now come to order.
Poor girl, these things come on her so suddenly. But she did so want to be here with me today.
Yes, ma'am.
Will now come to order.
Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. Go right ahead.
Thank you. We'll dispense with the previous minutes because that meeting was in 1926 and nothing much happened anyway. So we'll come directly to the point. I guess most of you know Mr. Preston Halsey and why he's here. Harvest Foods, whom Mr. Halsey represents, has offered to trade 1 share of Harvest Food stock, which is worth almost $60, for 1 share of Kennebec alfalfa. Now, seeing as how we haven't declared a stock dividend since 1909, I'd say that's a very handsome offer.
I should like to ask a question.
Yes, Mrs.
Beatrice McMillan. I should like to ask why. Why this person is offering us so much money if our shares aren't worth anything.
May I respond to that, Amos?
Why don't you let me tell her, Halsey?
You're out of order.
They're trying to steal my property from me, Mrs. McMillan, that's why.
It is not your property, Mr. Leibowitz.
Happy Howard, Slightly Used Cars, has been doing business on that property for the past 16 years.
But the property is only leased.
You see what they do when you're just a little guy? Halsey here wants to put up a packaging plant to make that lousy breakfast cereal. Acres and acres of land for sale all over the country, but no, they gotta come after me. And as soon as he gets control of the stock, he tosses me and the cars right out on the street.
Mr. Leibowitz, nothing has been decided.
You had that land rezoned, didn't you? You and that bird-brained zoning commissioner.
So we'll make an arrangement.
My foot. It's taken me 16 years to convince the public that I really am honest. You know how tough that is when you're in my business. Nobody comes on my property, nobody. If I have to barricade the place and chase you off with a shotgun.
You're out of order, Leibowitz.
Yeah, sit down and be quiet. Let's get on with the vote.
Yeah, we're out of order, Leibowitz.
If you don't restrain yourself, I'll have you bodily removed, Mr. Leibowitz.
By who?
By me.
Down to be quiet.
Gentlemen, behave yourselves. Grown men acting like children, especially you, young man, trying to intimidate poor Mr. Leibowitz here. You ought to be ashamed. Now, I don't know what the rest of you are going to do, but I have a proxy here for 1,000 shares and 100 shares of my own. And I am going to vote not to sell.
Now you're out of order, Mrs. McMillan.
We've got all the votes we need. I've got 500 shares myself. My grandfather has another 500.
And I've got 50 shares.
I've got 100.
And I control 1,000, Mrs. McMillan. So as you can see, the outcome is pretty well determined.
That's right. We just want to vote and get out of here. I got to go to work.
Now, hold on just a doggone minute. First off, where I come from, we treat our women folk like ladies. You people have been downright rude to this young lady this morning. And another thing, why are we so all fired anxious to get this beef to market before we even know if it's been fatted enough?
What is that supposed to mean?
That means a sheep is not a sheep when it smells like a coyote, and I smell me a flock of coyote in this room.
Now, just a second, cowboy.
Now, this young lady here asked why Harvest Foods was willing to pay $60 a share for this company. And I don't believe I heard anybody giving her a straight answer. So it seems to me, if Mr. Halsey here is willing to pay $60 a share, he might even be willing to pay $80, even $100 a share. And just for the record, I've got over 1,700 shares in proxies, and all 1,700 are with Miss McMillan here. I vote no.
You're out of order. You're out of order.
I appreciate the way you two went to bat for me.
Oh, matter of principle, Mr. Leibowitz. Did you notice Mr. Halsey? He bites his lower lip. Very, very nervous man.
Can I drop you somewhere?
No, thanks. I got me a rented car.
Oh, isn't this lovely?
Well, my daddy gave it to me the day before he died. Didn't look like much then, but I put a few dollars into her.
You know, I don't think we've heard the end of those fellas in there.
Well, I warned them.
Buck's right, Mr. Leibowitz. But violence is not the answer. What we need to do is to bring your case to the public eye. The idea of a huge company like Harvest Foods trying to swallow you up.
Mrs. McMillan, people don't generally care a whole lot for used car dealers. They think we're all crooks.
Are you a crook, Mr. Leibowitz?
I never cheated a customer in my life, and that's a fact.
I believe you, sir. In fact, I have bought many fine cars in my life from people in your business.
Thank you. I don't know what you got in mind, but I'm with you all the way.
Allow me. I don't know what you got in mind either, ma'am, but I'd be honored to buy you lunch and discuss it.
Well, as my daughter would say, Mr. McCord, right on. We can work out our plan of attack.
Not a very productive meeting, Tolliver.
Who knew about the old lady?
And Mr. McCord. You said there was going to be no trouble.
Look, the stockholder records are very old. We couldn't locate everybody.
I don't want to hear excuses, all right?
Well, how do you think I feel? 500 shares at $60 a share? I've got $30,000 on the line.
You're going to have more than that in the line if you blow this.
Believe me, Mr. Halsey, I want this merger to work more than you do.
All right. I want another meeting in 10 days.
Well, I don't know if we can do that.
It's all legal and proper. Check your charter, paragraph 11. And I promise you, the next time, the outcome is going to be different. I'll find those other stockholders, and I'm going to bury that old biddy and that cowboy in proxies. They've started something here they're not going to be able to finish.
Where to, sir?
City Hall. We better have a talk with Edgar Winfield.
Dr. Fraser.
Commissioner, how is he? No better, I'm afraid.
Is he conscious yet?
He's gone deeper into the coma. It's no longer a question of poison. That just started the problem. Man his age, it doesn't take much.
I was hoping to talk to him.
What about his granddaughter? She's in the room with him. Name's Jill.
Jill, thank you. Excuse me, you Jill?
Yes.
May I come in?
Of course.
You don't know me.
Oh, but I do know you, Commissioner. Grandpa's talked about you a lot.
Oh, he has?
Grandson of John T. McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
Why would anyone want to kill him, Commissioner?
I want to find out, Jill. And everybody calls me Mac. Did your grandfather ever mention to you about some stock he owns in Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation?
No.
Do you mind if I look through that?
No, not at all. Sure like to meet your mom.
Hmm?
Grandpa talks about her all the time. Busy Bee. That's what he calls her.
Busy Bee?
Yeah, he says it's short for busybody. But I don't think he means it.
Jill, about 4 days ago, your grandfather had an appointment at City Hall. Room 348 at 2:30. Do you know anything about it?
I wouldn't know. I don't live with him. I mean, I visit him a lot, but what he does and who he sees, I guess I've been ignoring him a lot lately.
I think he's going to be fine. Do you mind if I keep this?
No, not at all.
Listen, if you have nothing to do tonight, why don't you come by the house? Meet my mother and maybe have dinner with her.
Thanks. I'm getting pretty tired of egg salad sandwiches. It's the only thing I know how to make.
Wait till she shows you her recipe for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Commissioner, there you are, sir. We've been trying to locate you.
What?
It's your mother, sir.
She's not hurt.
Oh, no, sir, nothing like that. But you know the old expression, you can't fight City Hall? Well, I don't think your mother ever heard it.
I have no intention of taking a flying leap, young man, and I'll thank you to show more respect.
Well, lady, I'm telling you, there's nothing I can do.
Now, come on, lady, let's go.
Look,
Please.
you leave her alone.
My
Look,
lunch,
you want
young
to step
man.
outside?
It's all very simple. I I need a permit to picket.
You're not a union.
I am a citizen.
You want a parade permit? Swell. 5 days waiting period. You want to make a speech? You'll need a speech permit. That's the pink form, 3 days, and you got to have it signed by the mayor.
Now, look here, partner, look here. Now, why don't you just give the lady what she wants and make us all happy, huh?
What makes you think that you can buy a city official for $10?
Oh, he's right, Buck. Give him 20.
Lady, I've had it. I'm going to lunch. The counter is closed. You can wait here all day for all I care.
What seems to be the trouble here, Perkins?
Yes, Commissioner, it's this woman.
Yes, well, I'll handle it. Right this way, Mrs.
Stewart!
Yes, right this way, Mrs. Stewart.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sergeant Enright, and I'd be glad to help you in any way that I can. But as a devoted public servant, I must honestly say to you that there is absolutely nothing that I can do for you.
Excuse me.
Buck, this is my son, though you'd never know it from the way he treats
keep
me.
your voice down?
Buck McCord, sir.
Can you tell me what she's trying to talk about?
Careful, Buck. He's a cop. Power mad, you know?
Oh, Mrs. McMillan, that is your mother here. We're fixing to protest the acquisition of this little used car lot by Harvest Foods. You see, they're trying to buy up this alfalfa company.
And that ridiculous little man in there won't give us a permit.
Well, if this place is on Long Valley Road, in the first place, you don't need a permit. It's an unincorporated area. Now, in the second place, it's none of you...
Isn't that wonderful, Buck? Oh, thank you, Stuart. That's absolutely wonderful.
Mother, just a moment. Excuse me. Now, you listen to me.
Don't you shake your finger at your mother.
Somebody tried to kill Andy last night because he was trying to stop the merger of two companies. I think one is a direct result of the other.
It's possible.
Now, you and are trying to pick up the gauntlet. What happens if they focus on you?
And who is they, Stuart?
I don't know.
Of course you don't. Look, you're a dear son, but I came halfway around the world because an old friend needed me, and I'm not going to let him down.
Mother...
Now, let me finish. A terrible injustice is being perpetrated by an awful little man named Preston Halsey, by him and that dreadful cereal company. Andy wanted that merger stopped, and we're going to stop it.
You can't.
I've been around a lot longer than you, and I know this much. If you start letting people walk all over you, you'll become everybody's doormat. I haven't started yet, and I don't intend to start now.
Will you listen?
See you tonight for dinner. And don't be late. I'm cooking.
Hello, Mac.
Short day, Edgar?
Just taking some paperwork home. It's too nice a day to spend around here.
How's the new Mrs. Winfield?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. She's picked me up any minute. What can I do for you?
Tell me about Andy Kennesaw.
Who?
Andrew Kennesaw. Old man, 90 years old.
Never heard of him.
You never heard of the Kennemac Alfalfa Corporation?
Sorry.
Come on, Edgar. This slip was found in Andy's wallet. It has your office number on it.
What are you accusing my husband of, Matt?
Oh, it's all right, dear.
I thought we'd heard the last of those charges. Bribery, favoritism. Edgar was cleared.
I know that.
But you don't believe it.
What does it matter? He was cleared, wasn't he?
Then why are you here asking these questions?
Somebody was almost killed last night.
And you think Edgar may be involved? From bribery to attempted murder, what next?
Oh, it's enough, Liza. Mac's only doing his job.
When are you going to leave him alone?
Look, Mac, dozens of people come in here every day. There are crackpots and cranks of every description. He could have been in here, but I really don't remember the man or this Alfalfa Corporation. Now, if you'll excuse us.
Sorry to bother you.
The interrogating officer must lead the murder victim, murder witness, to a description of the crime, oftentimes through subtle techniques. The experienced officer, however, needs no instruction in Hello? Oh, yes, Commissioner.
Am I interrupting anything?
Sir, as a matter of fact,
Good. What did you find out about Kennebec alfalfa?
Oh, no. Sir, it completely slipped my mind. I'm sorry. You see, I have this speech tonight.
All right. Get on it first thing in the morning, will you? Oh, and while you're at it, see what you can find out about a man named Preston Halsey, an employee for Harvest Foods.
Commissioner, I'd be very happy to get started on Preston Halsey right now. I mean, as soon as you phone the academy and tell them I can't make it tonight.
No, tomorrow's fine.
Sir, it's really no problem.
Oh, and dig up that file on Edgar Winfield, the stuff the grand jury looked at a few months ago.
But, Commissioner, I can give that speech any old time.
No, tomorrow's fine. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, fellow officers. You've probably been asking yourself, when I get my first felony investigation, and I put that triplicate carbon pack form into the typewriter, will I measure up?
Now, gentlemen, please. I can recommend goulash, ragu, roast lamb, or alfalfa.
Don't get cute, friend.
Easy, Jip.
Mr. Halsey's made you a very fine offer.
Yes, so he has $120 a share for worthless stock.
Okay, how much do you want?
I cannot sell you what I do not own, sir.
What?
I've been trying to tell you my stock. I sold it this afternoon for twice what you offered me.
Sold it to whom?
Stockbroker, acting for somebody else. It was a condition of the sale that I do not reveal his name. Now, may I recommend the turtle soup?
Check the car dealer, Leibowitz. Is he behind it? If not, has he been approached to sell?
Yes, sir.
Waiter's not talking, but the intermediary. It's got to be a recognized broker. Put out some feelers. Say you've got Kennebec stock to sell. See if we get a bite.
Right. What do you think, Mr. Halsey?
Well, the odds are it's the old lady and the cowboy. But who knows? Maybe we're getting quick pitched by our friend Mr. Winfield.
Mr. Halsey?
Yeah? Yes.
I'm Stuart McMillan. Mind if I sit down? Thank you.
You're quite welcome. McMillan. You related to,
She's my mother.
I tell you, you don't have to apologize for her.
I don't apologize for anybody, Mr. Halsey, particularly my mother.
Can I get you a drink?
What's your involvement with Edgar Winfield?
Winfield.
The man whose office you went to last Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That Winfield.
Mr. McMillan, are you by any chance a stockbroker?
Police commissioner.
Oh, you're that, McMillan.
What's your involvement with Edgar Winfield and the Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation?
Well, it's very simple. See, we want to put up a plant on property owned by the Alfalfa Company and leased to Howard Leibowitz. He's a used car dealer. Now, Mr. Winfield, he has agreed to rezone. All I've got to do is acquire the land. See, I buy the land for more than it's worth. Everybody comes out a winner.
Except Andy Kennesaw.
I don't know.
He was going to stand in the way of the stock purchases. Somebody tried to poison him.
Oh, Commissioner. What, do I look like, a common thug? Listen, Harvest Foods is a gigantic corporation. Because of tax advantages, we can pay more for that land than it's worth. But if your mother persists in preventing this merger, why, you know, we can go someplace else and nobody gets anything. Now, why don't you tell her to think about that?
Who's got the red paint? There's plenty of it on the carpet. Maybe you could scrape it up and use it again.
I need some more staples for these poles here.
Oh, wait a minute. That's very nice, dear. I've never seen a green and yellow eagle before.
That's not an eagle, that's a vulture.
Oh, yes, of course. Ah, Jill, it's so nice you could come over this evening.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
Ah, good. Stuart, there you are.
Hi, Commissioner.
Look, everybody here. Stuart, we've been so worried about you.
Oh, I had to meet someone.
We've just been swamped, and you have such an artistic flair. I've been telling everyone how you painted the Thanksgiving turkey all by yourself when you were in the 3rd grade.
Now, Mother, let's talk. I am not going to paint. I am too tired and too hungry.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'll heat you up some dinner. Nobody was very hungry, so there's plenty left.
Yes, we practically have our own soup kitchen.
Where's Sally?
Oh, Lord only knows. I'm going to bring you a hot plate, and I'll put a little orange sauce on the boiled octopus.
Are you all right?
I feel very calm about it now.
Well, I know how you feel, but it'll be over soon.
Oh, I know. That's why I think I'll just stay up here in my room and meditate.
When we were married, it was for better or for worse.
Mac, I love Beatrice. Really, I do. It's just that sometimes your mother can be a little... Well, she's your mother.
What she is a lovely lady who is genuinely interested in the welfare of the people around her.
True. That's true.
And right now, she's got this thing about Harvest Foods.
Yes. Well, I've got this thing about not leaving my room.
You know, she's so naive, she thinks that a handful of people can bring a huge corporation like that to its knees. You and I both know that's ridiculous. You know yourself what they're doing, raising the price of the cereal to 79 cents, and why not? When you're that big, nobody really counts, particularly people like you and me and my mother.
Now, wait a minute, Mac.
Okay, so she's downstairs painting a few signs. So what? Who's it gonna hurt? Then she'll go out and march around with her friends and get laughed at. Well, it's sticks and stones that break your bones.
It's still a free country, Mac.
Sure it is. And if you don't like Harvest Foods, you don't have to buy it. Not that Harvest Foods really gives a damn, because there's plenty of people still around that sit there and don't do anything or say anything.
All right, stop. All right, I'm going downstairs. I'm going to paint.
That's my girl. Now, if you wanted to really help, you keep an eye on her.
What is it, Mac?
I don't know. There's something screwy going on. I think she's in the middle of something she can't handle. And I'd feel better if you were with her.
Is this the part the minister was talking about, for better or for worse?
Something like that.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, Commissioner, this is not the for better part.
Yeah?
You're a troublemaker, Mr. Leibowitz. We don't like troublemakers.
Huh? Who is this?
Some of us have a lot of money tied up in this merger. We don't want to see anything go wrong.
Hey, who is this?
Play ball. When you find yourself playing a game you can't win. Now, we can get you, get the old lady, get any of you. Anytime, any place. If you don't believe me, take a look out the window at your garage.
I said no. No picketing, no demonstrations, no nothing.
But how do you expect to win this fight if you don't fight?
Mrs. McMillan, I quit. I give up. They can have my cars, my showroom, my brochures, the towels in the men's room.
Mr. Happy, or whatever your name is, we came down here just for you.
I appreciate that more than you know, but I just can't fight them anymore.
You mean they've gotten to you, as it were?
First thing this morning, I sold my stock in the Alfalfa Corporation. I phoned in an ad to the paper. I called my attorney. Then I sent a wire to my son in Miami. He should get a room ready. Now that's it. So unless you want to buy a car, may I ask you, please, to vacate my premises?
Ladies, it's obvious the enemy has declared war. And our man, Mr. Leibowitz, is the first casualty. Therefore, I think we should counter with a frontal attack and hit Harvest Foods head on. Downtown.
Beatrice, you mean the new headquarters building? This is Saturday.
Well, what difference? Maybe we can block a little traffic or something.
We haven't got a permit.
Please, Josh. Ladies, to our cars.
Good luck.
Oh, Commissioner, you scared the wits out of me.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for Sergeant Mulder.
Oh, I'm Sergeant Mulder. Lorraine G. Mulder. Shield number 2371.
Oh, it's nice to see you.
Oh, well, maybe I ought to put my badge on.
Oh, that won't be... Now, be careful.
Well, since I'm not in uniform, maybe I should. Does that look all right?
Oh, yes, it looks just fine. I don't think anybody will miss it.
Oh. Oh, I've got almost all the stuff you asked for, sir. I'll have this typewritten, and these are copies of the documents. The Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation. It was chartered in 1901, and the principal officers were Andrew Kennesaw and John T. McMillan. Is that any relation, sir?
Yes, my grandfather.
Oh. Oh, well, the purpose of the company was to engage in research and development for new uses of alfalfa. But we don't cross-file any copies of patents or copyrights. Those would have shown up if the company had made any significant discoveries.
And these?
Deeds, title searches, tax reports. See, the company still owns a few small parcels of land in and around the Bay Area. You know, an acre here, a few acres there. I think there are about 6 in all. Well, see, our records are just a little incomplete because of the '06 earthquake.
This little parcel of land is where the used car lot is on.
Oh, right. That's leased to Howard Leibowitz. It's a mixed residential zone, R2.
Thank you, Sergeant. I hate to call you in on a Saturday morning like this.
Oh, that's no problem at all, sir. I'm studying for the lieutenant's exam. I hope to be made a captain by the time I'm 30. If I can get somebody to notice me.
I don't think that will be a major problem. Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Beatrice, how long are we supposed to keep this up?
As long as it takes, Sally dear. You really should have worn flats.
I don't think anybody is noticing us.
No? Then what's he doing here? Come, come, ladies, move smartly. We have an audience.
Come in.
Tom. Sorry I took so long.
Never mind all that, Preston. What are those people doing down there? I came in on a Saturday morning to catch up on my work, and I'm confronted by a bunch of women babbling something about alfalfa.
I believe I memoed you on the 1st regarding our plans to acquire the Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation. You see, they control the acreage that we've scouted for the new packaging plant.
Wasn't there some zoning problem there?
I worked that out with the zoning commissioner, Mr. Winfield.
Well, that's all just fine, Preston, but what's it got to do with a parade by my front door?
Well, in matters like this, there's always a couple of cranks, but I wouldn't worry about it because they're not going to be there that long.
Now, look, we've got enough troubles with the public already. If it isn't short waiting, it's mislabeling or price fixing and who knows what else. Now, if this alfalfa company acquisition is going to mean that kind of publicity, I want no part of it. Just forget it. Find someplace else for the plant.
Tom, that site is ideal.
I don't care. We're here to sell cereal. America loves wheat treats and Frisky Flakes, and they're going to keep on loving them.
May I use your phone to call the police?
Police? That's the last thing I want down there.
Well, actually, I've already called the police, but it might not be too late to keep them away.
Wrong, Preston. It is too late.
What's the occasion, ladies?
Equal rights for all.
Terrific. Now, who's in charge of this festival of indignation?
No one's in charge, officer. This is a spontaneous protest against the monopolistic powers of big business.
May I see your permit?
The issue is clear-cut, officer. A giant corporation on the one hand, a helpless small business on the other.
You don't have a permit, right? Okay, then it's time to break it up, girls. Time to go home to our husbands and our children.
What is that supposed to mean?
You got a home to go to, lady?
Do you?
Look, you gotta have something better to do than to march around here all day.
Oh, like wash the dishes and scrub the floors, right?
Now you got it.
Oh, officer. Sergeant, is it Sergeant? Yes. Sergeant, you're a man of steel. From the neck up.
That's telling him, Sally.
As a matter of fact, I don't think I'll be leaving here at all unless you drag me away.
Come on, girl. Stand by the harvest. Stand
Okay, boys, that's it. Let's bring them in.
Ladies. Oh, ladies. Ladies. Let's remember, we're ladies.
I think it's only fair to warn you, officer, I'm Police Commissioner McMillan's wife.
Yeah. And I suppose the old biddy's his mother, huh?
Isn't that lovely? He recognized me.
Oh, Commissioner, good morning.
Morning, Charlie. How are you?
Never felt better, sir.
Down last time I saw you.
Oh, I guess you might call those the pre-performance jitters. You know what they say, sir. If you're not nervous, you don't give your best. And if I may say so, sir, I was a mild sensation last night. My speech, sir. My speech to the Academy boys on the importance of proper reporting procedures in felony investigations.
Oh, yes.
In fact, Commissioner, I was so successful that they've invited me back in 2 weeks to talk on the subject of care and maintenance of police property.
Well, before you go running off writing another speech, did you find out anything more on Winfield's activities vis-a-vis Andy Kennesaw?
Yes, sir, I sure did. Now, you remember Maggie, the file clerk in Winfield's office? Well, at your suggestion, sir, I invited her out last night and took her with me to the police academy. And if I may say so, sir, she was very impressed also with my ability to appear
Did you find out
spontaneous and
anything more on Winfield's activities vis-a-vis Andy Kennesaw?
Yes, sir. Well, according to Maggie, your friend Andy visited the office about 4 days ago. Now, she didn't hear what they said, but, well, they were making an awful lot of noise, sir.
You mean they had a fight?
Well, it seemed like a fight, because Kennesaw stormed out of the office. And then Winfield got on the phone right away to Preston Halsey. Does that make any sense, sir?
I think I'll pay a little unofficial visit to Winfield's office.
You want me to go with you, Commissioner?
No, I'll go alone. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something strange is going on. I'll give you a call.
Sergeant, be a dear, will you? There's some very nice reporters out there, and I'd like them to take a few pictures when you slap me in irons. Favoritism, that's all it was. If I'd been anybody else's mother, I'd have been locked up by now.
And with good reason.
Oh, Stuart, stop behaving like an archbishop.
Sally, you were there. Why didn't you stop her?
Because your mother was absolutely right.
About what? My wife and my mother hauled into a police station, nearly booked on a charge of disorderly conduct?
Nonsense. We were very orderly, weren't we, Sally?
It was that bullheaded sergeant.
Stuart, you really ought to do something about your health.
It was a peaceful demonstration.
Now that's enough from both of you. Thank you. Now I want you to listen very carefully. You two ladies, and I use the term loosely, are going home. I want you to stay at home. You can do needlepoint, you can play canasta. You can even invite some friends in for tea. Mother, you can even cook. But under no circumstances will I allow you two to meddle in this case any longer. Andy Kennesaw was poisoned. He almost died. He still might die, considering his age. There's a lot of muscle being applied to make this merger work. And when there's a lot of muscle applied, someone can get hurt. It will not be either of you. Is that clear?
Are you placing me under house arrest?
Of course not.
Then, in a word, Stuart, bug off.
That's 2 words, Beatrice.
2 words. I have not survived for 61 years.
61?
More or less. By retreating into my shell like a wounded turtle. We still have a First Amendment. And as long as I have a breath left, Preston Halsey is not going to get the best of me. And that's a promise.
Did you ever notice how much you and your mother look alike when you dig your heels in?
But I can handle myself in a tight corner.
Oh, Mac, I would not underestimate your mother.
We are talking about attempted murder. Harvest Foods wants that alfalfa corporation. They'll stop at nothing to get it. Look what happened to Andy.
You can't be serious.
I am very serious. In the last 24 hours, I talked with Edgar Winfield and Preston Halsey. Now, whatever is going on, they are 2 very desperate men. Now, I can't stop my own mother. She won't even listen to me. But maybe she'll listen to you.
Oh, that would be a first.
Will you give it a try?
No guarantees.
It's a deal.
Is this any way for a police commissioner to act at 11 o'clock in the morning?
You want to try me at 11 o'clock tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Winfield, please. Commissioner McMillan.
Sorry, Commissioner. He's at his club this morning playing golf, just like he always does.
Which club is that?
Oak Tree. You know Oak Tree?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Oh, Mac, what a lovely surprise.
Liza?
I was going to call you. I'm sorry about yesterday.
Oh, that's all right.
I guess you still look at me as Edgar's secretary.
Of course not.
I shouldn't have said the things I did. It's just that Edgar and I, we've been under so much pressure lately.
I'm on my way to talk to him.
Won't you come in for coffee?
No, thanks. I'd better see if I can catch him.
Okay.
In and out. In and out.
Still 3 putts, Edgar.
Look, for 18 feet, that wasn't bad. Now, if you'd only come up with par...
Hey, don't complain about my game. You know, I'm not the one who shot 102.
Vodka tonic, vodka tonic, screwdriver.
And a Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Thank you, and hurry back.
Okay, excuse me, gentlemen.
Well, here's sand in your bunker.
Good luck.
Back, please.
I'm Commissioner McMillan.
Oh, Commissioner, I'm Dr. Joshua Tuttle.
What happened?
Andy was having a drink, and he just collapsed. He's dead.
1 second he was laughing, and the next second, zap. I've never seen anything like it.
Which is his drink?
That one right there.
Nurse, I'm Beatrice McMillan. About Mr. Kennesaw.
Yes?
Well, Dr. Fraser called. He said his condition is improved.
He's improved, Miss McMillan, but he isn't allowed any visitors.
Oh, well, who was that?
I beg your pardon?
Well, some man just walked out of his room. Didn't look like Dr. Fraser.
Well, I don't know. There shouldn't be anyone in there. Young lady, I can't permit you to disturb the patient. You can't go in there. Grandpa? Code blue, 234 West. Code blue. Stand back.
Andy, again?
But no need to worry, Stuart. He's all right.
Well, what about the guards?
Well, he had to step down the hall for a minute.
Why?
Well, even guards have to step down the hall for a minute.
Oh.
Some man dressed as a doctor or an orderly went in there and shut off the oxygen. I got to look at him from the back, but just for a second. It could have been anybody.
Oh, nonsense. It was Preston Halsey. We all know it.
Who's down there now watching to see it doesn't happen a third time?
I have some presence of mind, thank you. I ordered a private nurse to be in the room around the clock. I'm sure it's covered by Medisic or whatever it is you call it. Now, Stuart, I think it's high time that Preston Halsey was brought in, as you say, and made to talk.
Mother, you just don't go around arresting people on supposition.
Nonsense. It's done all the time.
Why don't you make some coffee or something?
Why, I thought you didn't like my coffee.
I adore your coffee.
Well, all right. I'll call you the minute it's ready. How do you want it cooked? Black?
I think that would be the best way, Beatrice. You must be pretty desperate to get her out of the room if you're willing to drink her coffee.
Edgar Winfield's dead.
What?
Poison.
Poisoned?
Mm-hmm. Cyanide. Same kind of used on Andy at the party.
Why? For some lousy little company that nobody's ever heard of or cares about?
Somebody cares.
I'll see about Mrs. Olson. You get the door.
Jill.
Mac, I'm so sorry.
Come on in.
I should have come to you right from the start.
Come sit down. What is it?
A few weeks ago, Grandpa gave me this. He said that if he was to die suddenly, I was supposed to give it to you. Well, when he was poisoned, but then he survived, I didn't know what to do. I mean, I couldn't ask him. So I just held on to it. Oh, Mac, I'm such a fool.
Easy now, easy.
Well, this doesn't make any sense, Mac. Mac. I hate to disrupt your obvious fascination with Timmy Tyrone's exploits, but I don't understand this. All right, you've got an alfalfa company. They're involved in research and development. But of what? Alfalfa?
Mm-hmm.
What's the big deal? They got a couple of little pieces of property. 2 acres here, 4 acres there. It's crazy.
Well, I don't understand this.
What? Timmy Tyrone didn't help his team to win the pennant?
I've gone through this entire book looking for a clue. With the exception of 3 dog-eared pages, there's nothing particularly important, no underlining, nothing.
Maybe Andy had a note in there and it just fell out of the book.
Somebody is running around willing to pay up to $150 for Kenemax stock. Stop at nothing to get it.
Right, we know that.
Now, assuming the stockholders could be found, there are 10,000 shares. Now, at $150 per share, someone has to pay out $1.5 million. Now, by no stretch of the imagination is Happy Howard's used car lot worth 1/10 that much.
Well, there's got to be another reason.
Right.
Something important enough to kill Edgar Winfield and attempt to kill Andy twice.
Right.
Well, look what time it is. 11 o'clock. Remember?
Huh?
Forget it. Let's just go to bed. Maybe we'll get the right combination tomorrow.
That's it.
What? Where?
Here. You just said it. Andy was trying to tell us something. Look at the title.
Safe at home.
Mm-hmm. Now say it very literally.
He's safe at home. He's got a safe at home.
Now the 3 dog-eared pages. 3, 11, and 21.
The combination.
Right. Now look here. How Timmy Tyrone bought the team from the cellar.
The cellar. We're looking for the safe in the basement.
We?
Wait.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You are going to bed.
Oh, no.
Sally?
Oh, yes. Are you sure this is legal, man?
I'll check in the morning. Where's the light switch?
I don't know.
Here.
Oh, God. I wonder who his decorator is.
Sally.
Oh.
I am going first.
Now, if a bat goes by me, I'm going to scream.
There are no bats down here.
Ah! Bat just flew right by my head.
It's a light.
Oh. I don't see any safe, do you?
Probably hidden.
Oh, I'll stay around here and find it.
You wait in the car.
Oh, no. Let you take all the credit? Mm-hmm. Now, if I was Andy Kennesaw and I wanted to hide a safe where nobody could find it, where would I hide it? Behind a furnace. No, if it was lit, it would get too hot. Behind a painting. They always put them behind a painting. Hot. No. Hidden behind a bookcase.
Sally.
I told you.
Huh.
What is it? Mag.
Well, it's a diary of some kind. Experiment. This could be the motive.
What?
It seems that Grandfather and Andy were experimenting with the various strains of alfalfa, trying to develop a hybrid strain with the taste and nutrition of wheat.
Oh, I didn't know that was possible.
I don't know. But if it is, think what it means. No grain shortage, cheap wheat substitute. Could be a major breakthrough.
Well, no wonder Harvest Foods is trying to take over that little company. That has to be it.
I think Mr. Preston Halsey and I will have a nice little chat.
Don't turn around. I have a gun.
Mac.
Do what he says.
Don't move. Hold up the papers with your left hand and don't move.
What did you do? Follow us to Kennesaw's house?
You're wasting your time, Commissioner. I'm not saying a word until I see my lawyer.
Stuart, what is going on here? Why have you arrested Buck? He's a dear boy who's been helping Sally and me.
Mother, Buck is a dear boy who's been using you. He is not from Texas, and I doubt if he knows which end of the cow the milk comes out of.
What?
William G. McCord of Grand Rapids, Michigan, an employee of All-American Breakfast Foods. A wolf in blue suede jacket.
You mean he's an industrial spy?
Who may be guilty of the murder of Edgar Winfield and the attempted murder of Andy Kennesaw.
Now, come on, Commissioner. You don't believe that.
Maybe, maybe not.
All right. Look, a couple of weeks ago, my company learned that Preston Halsey was trying to acquire Kennebec alfalfa. Now, it seemed absurd, but Preston Halsey is one of the brightest people in the business.
And you came out here incognito to compete with Harvest Foods for control of the company?
Yes.
Then you're the one who's been buying up the stock through that broker.
I'm afraid so, Mrs. McMillan. We figured if Harvest Foods was interested, we'd better be too.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but you're wasting your time. It seems that Harvest Foods was interested in the long-lost formula. We had it analyzed this morning. Worthless.
You mean Andy's company isn't worth anything?
Now, the formula isn't worth anything.
No, it certainly isn't. We discarded those theories 40 years ago. And why is Halsey trying to buy up this little company?
Maybe he doesn't know the formula's worthless. Now, where were you last Saturday between 11 o'clock and 2 p.m. when Edgar Winfield was poisoned and a second attempt made on Andy Kennesaw?
Oh, now, Stuart.
I was in Sacramento. I was checking out an old address of a stockholder. Except now there's nothing there but an old tennis court, and so I guess if you're looking for an alibi, Commissioner, I don't have one.
All right, you're free to go. But don't leave the city unless you check with us.
Thanks, Mrs. McMillan.
That was very magnanimous of you, Stuart. Buck really is a dear boy.
Sergeant Enright, please. Charlie, a man is leaving the building by the name of William McCord. I want a 24-hour tail put on him.
Stuart, I'm ashamed of you.
I'm sorry to be underhanded, Mother.
I don't mean that. You're tailing the wrong man. Preston Halsey is at the bottom of everything. If you won't do something about him, I will.
Mother, I've got a murder and 2 attempted murders on my hands. I am not going to waste 1 more minute of my time or the department's time watching you make a fool of yourself. Now, go home and behave yourself, or I shall buy you a 1-way ticket to Little Rock, Arkansas, where you can spend the next month visiting Cousin Bertha and her 7 children.
Oh, dear. I don't have much choice, do I?
No.
They write something you didn't like?
Oh, no. I haven't even read the paper this morning.
Well, that's not going to make it any easier. I know I'm going to be sorry I asked this, but what are you doing?
Making up a dummy package, of course. They do it on all the detective shows.
Oh, somebody get kidnapped or something?
No, no.
Oh, I see. Just a simple case of extortion or blackmail?
Well, that's just silly.
Yes, I thought it would be, but I couldn't resist the temptation to say it.
Here we are. Wish me luck.
Luck.
Mildred, who was that?
I think it was an FBI agent disguised as your mother-in-law.
What?
We've got a tail on McCord, sir. Oh, Commissioner, it's lunchtime. There's nobody in the outer office. Sir, did I tell you that I have been honored? They've asked me to speak again at the Academy.
That's something new.
Yeah, I thought so, too. Well, it's lunchtime, sir. Are you hungry?
Huh? What?
It's lunchtime. Let's go eat.
Oh, no, later. Come on, let's go down to research. I want to check something out.
Mac doesn't answer, Mildred. I'm really worried about her.
Oh, don't worry. Your mother-in-law can take care of herself.
Why would she take a dummy package full of newspaper to Preston Halsey?
How do you know that's where she went?
Well, she left the phone book open to this page, and there's his name. Who else would she be going to see? I'm gonna go after her, Mildred. You keep trying Mac. Tell him where I went.
Hello? Anyone here? Hello? Hello?
What do you want?
Oh, dear me, you frightened me to death.
What are you doing here?
Well, I'm here, as they say, to do a little business, Mr. Halsey.
Well, I'm afraid you're a little bit late.
I know what you've been up to.
Don't lecture me, Mrs. McMillan. The corporate world is a snake pit, as you're discovering. Men like myself survive any way we can.
Including murder?
Murder?
Oh, don't treat me like a foolish old lady, Mr. Halsey. I've brought it with me. And I'm prepared to sell it, if the price is right.
Sell what?
Why, the formula, of course.
What formula, Mrs. McMillan?
Look, Charlie, at the bottom of this page. 6 acres of alfalfa at Hagg's Farm. A piece of property they just bought on Delavan Road. No, I don't see any 6 acres listed. And I never heard of Delavan Road.
We have some old maps in the rear, Commissioner, that date back to the turn of the century.
I'd like to see one.
You know, sir, maybe they just sold that piece of property.
Maybe they didn't. Look at this date. January 1906, year of the earthquake. Question. Suppose Kennebec Alfalfa owned a piece of property they lost the records on. If so, where is the property?
What about that used car lot?
No, it isn't worth near what's been going on. Add it up. Property plus a dead zoning commissioner. Since he's in the middle of it all, title searches, grants, deeds, maybe he stumbled onto something about Harvest Foods in Kennebec.
Here you are, Commissioner. This map is dated 1902.
Let's see if we can find Delavan Road, particularly Hagg's Farm.
According to this, sir, it's southwest of the bay.
Here we are, Delavan Road. And Hagg's Farm.
What is it, sir?
Well, I don't know.
Mrs. McMillan, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the secret formula, of course, for turning alfalfa into cornflakes or something like that.
Well, may I see it?
Certainly not. Not yet. Not until you're honest with me, Mr. Halsey.
My dear lady, I cannot possibly comment intelligently on your formula unless I look at it.
I know you killed that, Mr. Winfield, and you tried to kill Andy, and there's no sense denying it.
You're really incredible, Mrs. McMillan.
Flattery does not impress me, sir.
Commissioner, are you sure that this is Delavan Road?
Exactly. Look, the old road runs along there.
Right, and it intersects 13th Street right here.
Yeah. Well, this should be it.
Commissioner?
Uh-huh. No wonder Harvest Foods is trying to buy that alfalfa corporation.
All right, Mrs. McMillan, all right. What's the difference? Everything's coming apart anyway. That new tower building? That was my idea. Tom Ewing, put that in my hands. I mean, total charge. I knew it was a make-or-break situation career-wise, see? And for a while, things moved along, I mean, just perfectly. Then one day, when the building was nearing completion, Edgar Winfield came to me. He discovered a 70-year-old title flaw. It seems that the Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation still owned the property on which I was building a $15 million office building.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, indeed. Winfield wanted money to be quiet. A lot of money. $10,000 at first, so I paid it. But that wasn't the end of it. He wanted another 10. Then he wanted 20.
Well, why didn't you just go to this Mr. Ewing and tell him?
My dear lady, I had selected that site, see? Kennebec had us over a barrel. I mean, if the truth ever came out, why, we'd be tied up in court for years, and I'd be out in the street, and nobody's gonna hire me.
So you killed Mr. Winfield rather than pay blackmail.
No. I was trying to buy the company, yes. I would have paid $500 a share, $1,000, anything. to acquire Kennebec, right? But murder? No. I swear to you, I know nothing about what happened to Mr. Winfield or to your friend.
Mr. Halsey,
Why, Sally.
I caught her snooping outside your window, sir.
Sally, isn't it wonderful? Mr. Halsey isn't a murderer, just a crook.
No, just a businessman, Mrs. McMillan. Anyway, I'm going to go see the commissioner, and I'm going to tell him everything I know. I've already written out my resignation from Harvest Foods. Just doesn't make any difference anymore.
It's all right. I can't let you do that.
Carlisle, what is this?
Just a slight change in plans, sir. Over there, ladies.
All right.
Don't do anything foolish.
Who is this man?
Well, I thought that he was my loyal assistant.
You never can tell, Mr. Halsey. Speaking as one businessman to another.
Carlisle, don't ruin your career.
What career? Like yours? 20 years of trying to climb a greased pole for what? Ulcers and a bad liver? A lot of money you're too old to enjoy? Not for me, thanks.
What is he talking about?
Well, I'm not sure, Beatrice, but I think it's trouble.
Right, ladies. About $850,000 worth, and all tax-free. A sort of inheritance from Mr. Edgar Winfield. You see, once this bushy-tailed commissioner puts things together, he's liable to figure out I killed Winfield and tried to kill Kennesaw. Unfortunately, I can't leave any of you around to talk about it. Now sit down over there and write what I tell you. Sit down. To whom it may concern, I can't live with myself any longer. Yeah, hello. It's me. There's been a little foul-up. No, nothing we can't handle. I'll see you at the lodge in 45 minutes. I killed Edgar Winfield. Write it.
Oh?
Mr. Ewing?
Commissioner McMillan.
Commissioner, yes.
I'm sorry to bother you at home, sir, but I've just learned that your new tower is built on property you don't even own.
What?
Was Preston Halsey in charge of that project?
Why, yes, he was, but, Commissioner, are you sure?
Afraid so.
I'll call Preston.
No, don't do that. I wouldn't like to scare him off. Where does he live?
Where's your car?
My car? Oh, my car wouldn't work. My car's just a little bit smaller than that.
Yeah, well, let's try it. Come on.
Well, if you want to try and squeeze in it.
You drive.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no. I don't get in the car if she drives.
Oh, please, Mrs. McMillan.
You've never seen my daughter-in-law drive. Shoot if you must, this old gray head. Died blonde, but I don't get in the car with Sally behind the wheel.
All right, lady. Then you drive. Maybe it'll look better anyway. Nice and easy. Straight north on Route 123 till you get to Canyon Road.
Then take a left to the lake. Last cabin on the left-hand side. You got it?
Certainly.
How fast you going?
Not fast enough, Mr. Carlyle.
Well, slow down.
Why? This is getting to be fun.
Look, lady, I don't care how good a driver you are.
Oh, but she's a terrible driver.
I said slow down.
Oh, you wouldn't dare shoot me at this speed, so why don't you just put that thing down and enjoy the ride?
Lady, you're doing 70.
I am. What?
Central, this is Commissioner McMillan. I want an APB out on Preston Halsey. Age, early 40s, 5'10", around 160 pounds.
Slow down or I shoot her.
Oh, Sally, don't you worry a bit.
Watch the road.
I'm an excellent judge of human nature, and this man has no intention of shooting you.
Beatrice, he's a murderer.
Oh, that was just poison. Not the same thing at all. We have an escort.
This is car 45 heading north on Route 123. I've got a late model station wagon, California plate 376 Queen King George. Please run trace.
Mrs. McMillan, I'm getting a little car sick.
Trying to think about apples. That always helps.
Watch the road, please. And slow down. I'm warning you.
Don't warn me, young man. I'm perfectly capable of handling an automobile at high speed.
Commissioner, this is Central. We have a report from the California Highway Patrol on a station wagon. License 376, Queen King George, registered to you.
Yes?
It's heading north on Route 123. 4 people in the car. Driver appears to be a little old lady.
Uh-oh.
She's been repeatedly signaled to stop, but has made no move to comply. Highway Patrol wanted to check with you first.
All right, follow, but do not apprehend. I'll keep in touch.
What's it?
My mother. Central. This is Commissioner McMillan. I want a chopper at the Stinson Beach turnoff in 10 minutes. Ridden in a helicopter?
Actually, sir, I'm more of a balloon man. I mean, I'm full of hot air, but I can rise to the occasion.
Oh, good.
I don't care anymore. Just stop the car. I'm not gonna fight off the whole lousy highway patrol.
Oh, yes. And while we're capturing you, what about your accomplice who's waiting at the lodge up on Canyon Road? Oh, no. As my son would say, we're gonna bag you both. Isn't it terrible? All these Sunday drivers on the road. Seems to be Canyon Road. It only took us 25 minutes. You did say the last lodge on the left.
Will you slow down? Please, you tell her to stop.
Oh, I can't. She's very touchy about her driving.
Well, relax, everybody. Now I'm only doing 65.
Stay back. Stay back. You all right? Mother, you all right?
Well, of course I'm not all right. I've just been in an automobile accident.
For he's a jolly good fellow that nobody can deny.
Listen, try not to fall into this, will you? It took me all day to bake it.
Sorry, Andy, we couldn't find any candles.
Well, thanks, all of you. You've made an old man feel that he still has a lot of friends left in this world.
Oh, good afternoon, Mildred.
Hi, Sergeant. You're just in time for some cake, but you can't bring that in.
Oh, yes, he can.
The rug doesn't need any topsoil.
Right over here, Charlie. Yes, we'll clean it up later.
Oh, that was a royal we, if ever.
My word.
Is that real, Mag?
It certainly is.
Almost $1 million.
Stuart, the least you can do is explain.
Well, I'll try, will I?
Sally, have you ever seen this much money in your life?
Yeah.
Touch it. Come on.
No.
Touch it.
First of all, Edgar Winfield had been taking bribes for the last couple of years. We knew what the charges were, but nobody wanted to talk. Edgar was smart enough not to show the money, so he resorted to a very old and practical device.
I knew. He buried it in his backyard.
No, Mother, he put it in several safety deposit boxes. Now, enter Eliza, who married Edgar for his money. She decided she wanted out of the marriage, but she found out about the bribes. Dilemma. If she divorces him, Edgar keeps the money. If she reports him, Edgar goes to jail and the money's returned. So where does that leave poor little Eliza?
Penniless and husbandless.
Right. Now, enter one George Carlyle, Halsey's assistant. And it's love at first sight. Well, if not love, it's mutual greed. They quickly decide to eliminate Edgar. They would have done it weeks ago, except that Edgar found out about the new building, plus the fact that Harvest didn't really own it.
Then a new problem crops up.
Me?
Right. You stirred up a hornet's nest, Andy. Halsey was trying to buy up your company, and Edgar was blackmailing Halsey, and so you decided to report the two of them to the DA's office.
Well, I thought they were trying to steal my formula.
They were trying to buy you out, but Carlyle knew that wouldn't work, so he tried to poison you. Now, with you in the hospital, you're out of the way. That's when Mother Dear decided to enter the fight.
And weren't we all wonderful?
Eliza and Carlyle knew they had to eliminate Edgar before he was exposed and the money confiscated. So that morning, Edgar goes to the golf course. Eliza takes the money, buries it in the backyard. Carlyle goes to the golf course and poisons Edgar.
Well, that's all very interesting, Stuart. But I think it's time we celebrated our good fortune. As the collective owners of several thousand shares of Kennebec alfalfa stock, I think we should see these robber barons in the morning at the cereal company and stick it to them.
Yes, Mother. About that.
What do you mean?
I'm afraid I called Thomas Ewing about the land problem. He had the city tax assessor declare the land in default because of non-payment of taxes.
What? They can't do that.
Harvest Foods has just brought the property for the back taxes plus interest and penalties. And believe me, it wasn't cheap.
You mean I'm not a millionaire?
You're not even a thousandaire.
Well, the moral of this story is you can't fight City Hall.
Well, we still have our signs, don't we?
Now, Mother,
Mac, what if they go right out and raise the price of that cereal again?
I'll write a letter instead.
Sally, I'm afraid I think this time Stuart is right.
You're kidding.
Besides, we're leaving in the morning.
We're?
Andy and I are going on a 10-day cruise. A little sun.
A little fun.
And I will help you pack.
Muriel, you're a dear.
Catherine?
What are you doing here? Catherine, call the police. Now get out of this office.
I apologize for bringing Arthur. I admit he's something of a cliche, but I wanted to be sure we would have our little talk.
We've already had our talk, Poole. The answer is still no. Now get out.
I don't understand people like you, Lanier. I offer you a bona fide partnership, and you don't just turn me down, you treat me like some sort of pariah. That's not sociable. What do you think, Arthur? Sit down, Catherine. I regret the use of violence, but on occasion it does serve as an attention getter.
You don't scare me, Poole.
Arthur, I still don't have his complete attention. I'm a reasonable man, Lanier. I believe in talking things out.
Go ahead, maybe he'll miss.
Get your hands off me.
Oh, I forgot. The notorious Mr. Poole is now a legitimate businessman and doesn't have a gun. Help him up.
Now, wait a minute, McMillan. You're not going to try and make something out of this, are you?
Help him up. It's like the old days, isn't it? Thought you'd just give him a working over yourself, wouldn't you? It's going to cost you.
You've been trying to get me for years, McMillan. You've still got nothing. Mr. Lanier and I were having a business meeting. He slipped and fell. That's all there is to it.
Not this time. Mr. Lanier told us about your first meeting. That's why we're here. Now, if I remember my law books, when assault and battery is accompanied by terrorization of another innocent party, the charge becomes assault and battery plus false imprisonment. And that, Mr. Poole, is good from 1 to 10. Read him his rights.
Mr. Poole, you have the right to remain silent. If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say
Too much?
Is that a question or a statement of fact?
Too much. All right, Mildred, are you ready? Too sophisticated?
Not if you're meeting a Frenchman for a secret rendezvous, but for meeting a Frenchman at an airport and his wife, who is supposed to be stunning
Yes.
and rich.
1 out of 2 ain't bad. What am I gonna wear?
Oh.
I'm stumped.
Listen, I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, Jacques Arnaud is just another cop, only with a French accent.
He's a dear friend of Mac's. He just married Maggie Sinclair. You know who she is. I'm looking forward to meeting her. I want to look my best.
Well, what about this charming ensemble?
Mildred. C'est fantastique. C'est pas trop simple. C'est pas trop sophistiqué. C'est absolument parfait.
You Josh.
C'est parfait.
Oh, and don't worry about the rest of this stuff. I have the whole weekend to put it away.
Oh, I gotta call Mac. I don't think he knows we've only got an hour to get to the airport.
Well, I wish we could pin him with a lot more, Mac, but at least we've got something.
I wouldn't count on the secretary, though. She's scared out of her wits, but I think Lanier will hold up. Certainly got enough protection around him.
Yeah, well, you're the key, Mac. Now, Lanier's going to testify because the commissioner of police is going to testify.
Excuse me. Yes? Oh, tell her I can't right now. I'm right in the middle of it. Well, it's always important. All right, I'll take it. Yes, Sally, I know what time it is. Yes, Sally, I know he's my friend. Yes, I'm leaving in a few minutes. What? Oh, well, that sounds like a wonderful outfit. Right, I'll meet you at the airport. Goodbye.
Sounds like you've got an appointment. And so do I. Look, we can touch base on this later in the week, Mac.
Thanks for the visit, Frank. And this time we're going to nail pool.
Bye, sir. Commissioner, I'm worried. I think I should tell you that there's a rumor out on the streets that Poole has a contract out on you.
I think it's true.
Well, I certainly wouldn't underestimate Mr. Poole, sir.
I better get going.
You know, it was just about a year ago that Inspector Arnaud was here, wasn't it?
International Police Conference.
Well, give him my regards, would you?
Shall I also convey that sneaky little look?
Oh, well, I was just thinking about the inspector getting married. Didn't he say last year that he was going to stay a bachelor no matter what?
Sure, he said it. I think he believed it.
I think I'll walk with you.
Hey, Sergeant, you got a minute?
See you later, sir. Sir, those rumors are right on the button. Raymond Poole is not wasting any time.
Doesn't have to be. Poole could have been anybody else.
Oh, you mean someone's going to take a shot figuring that Poole will get the blame?
Could be. Either this guy's a lousy shot or he's deliberately trying to miss me.
Well, maybe Poole was only trying to scare you.
His usual tactic is around a dive in time, isn't it?
But if he wants to do more than scare you, sir, the airport's going to be a very good place to try again.
If I go to the airport, Poole may try to kill me, but if I don't go to the airport, my wife definitely will.
Where do you think you're going?
To the airport?
All right. But on one condition. Not a word to Sally.
Commissioner, I promise you, Mrs. McMillan won't even see me.
Where are they? For example?
Unless I missed them and they're wandering around somewhere, which is very possible. I don't remember Jacques all that well.
You'd have recognized Maggie.
Because she starts traffic when she gets off the plane.
You know how it is. Beautiful women always go for cops.
I think I like that.
Good to see you, Sally. Mac, Sally, may I present my wife? How do you do? What? That word still sounds strange to my tongue.
Maggie, Sally.
Mag. You know, I think we have the beginnings of a vaudeville team.
But of course. Well, what do you really think of this strange mixture?
Terrific.
Vin ordinaire, le champagne.
Oh, no, well, what the inspector very gallantly neglects to tell you is that I shamelessly pursued him. Didn't want to have anything to do with me. And you know why? Because I'm the vin ordinaire in this marriage.
Oh, we have the same setup.
We do?
Where's your luggage?
Ah, the porte à gate there. It is good to see you again.
And you, Jacques. Oh, tout va bien.
Do that. But that's good. That's good. Except one thing. There remains the task of facing my new father-in-law.
Don't tell me he still doesn't know you're married.
Oh, he knows it all right. The question is, will he get over it?
Apparently, Monsieur Sinclair does not take kindly to a fait accompli.
Well, that's why he's not here. Yes, Justin R. Sinclair, renowned industrialist, confidant to presidents, diplomatic representative to nations large and small, is home pouting. But don't worry, I will have him purring like a kitten by sundown. And, oh, he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to give us a really super party on Saturday night, and you will please come. Yes, you're on. Good.
Ah, good. Eh, Potter! But
Why is he following us?
Who?
Sergeant Enright. I spotted him before, sort of flitting around, hiding behind things. Why is he acting so funny?
He's just checking on something. I wouldn't pay any attention to him.
Oh, that's all it is. Thought maybe he had a problem or something.
Well, there's just one. Keeping out of sight.
Mildred, why now?
Woman's work is never done, Commish. Lift your foot. Now the other one.
At the same time?
Oh, please.
Mac, is Justin Sinclair as rich as everybody says he is?
Richer.
Thank you, Mildred.
Here, I'll fix that. Wonder how he and Jacques are getting along.
He called me yesterday. Apparently, Sinclair's come up with a couple of suggestions.
Like what?
For example, tonight's party will be an opportune time for Jacques and Maggie to announce their annulment.
What else?
Plus a trial separation of 5 years. Come on, we're late.
Don't leave on my account.
We won't. Mildred, enrich my store of knowledge. Why are you vacuuming at night?
I always do my work when the spirit moves me. All creative people are like that.
Yeah.
Have a nice night, Mildred.
Oh, it's going to be sensational. I have 4 more rooms to create.
How was your day today?
Oh, the usual. You know, I met Sinclair a couple of times. Seems like a stubborn old bird. I bet Maggie's got him wrapped around her little finger. You know, it's really odd, two people like that. Jack and Maggie pairing off. French cop, jet-set heiress.
Man.
I've always heard that Maggie was rich and spoiled, but you know what? I think she was lost until she met Jack.
Mac.
On the other hand, Jacques probably was living in a vacuum.
Mac.
Huh?
I know.
Well, what?
You don't have to throw the paper in the back seat. I know someone tried to kill you.
Oh, that.
Oh, that. How can you act so casual?
He was only trying to scare me.
You know, I wish you were in a safer line of business like tax law.
Raymond Poole is not entirely stupid. Anything that happens to me would end up in his head, and he knows it.
Now, how do you know that he is as logical as you are? He could end up in prison, and I could end up in basic black.
Sally, Raymond Poole is extremely logical. Take my word for it.
to have my head examined. How did this thing turn into a celebration?
You're always so sweet.
Well, at least he's consistent.
Mm-hmm. So's a shark.
Oh, true.
Well, let's get back to the problem. Jacques, this business of yours,
Justin.
where does it go?
Justin, you promised to give Jacques the night off.
I never claimed to keep all my promises, particularly where a man's future is at stake. Now, here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Two exalted cops on top of the heap, and between you, you don't make as much money as a tongue-tied insurance agent.
That is exquisitely subtle.
I think, sir, you're underestimating the graft.
Well, all I'm really trying to do is to point out that Jacques has a few responsibilities now. He cannot play Sherlock Holmes and be married to Maggie Sinclair at the same time.
So far, so good.
All right, I'll put it another way. I am 73 years old, and maybe I'll get to be 74, but the doctors aren't all that sure.
I really wish you wouldn't talk like that.
I am talking like that because there are times when these things need talking about. Eileen here has been running Sinclair International for the past 6 or 7 years, and doing a damn fine job. Now, you and Eileen get along very well. You always have. Now, when I go, my share of the company is going to be put in your lap. That way, I'll know that Eileen is going to stay right where she is, keeping Sinclair on an even keel.
Daddy, do we have to talk about that now? Besides, what about Sharon?
Oh, your sister's well taken care of. You don't have to worry about her. Anyway, I've already told her about this. Now, and as for you, I hate to say it because I still don't approve of this marriage, but you have a pretty good head on your shoulders. Sinclair International can use you. At least that's what Eileen thinks.
Oh, very much so, John. No less than the ambassador, no matter how unappetizing he makes himself.
Merci. You flatter me, Ambassador. But as you yourself have pointed out more than once, I'm a pretty old dog set in his ways. I like being a policeman.
Well, it's long been said that money is power, and power certainly is the way of this world. I think you'll change your mind.
I think we ought to toast to the new majority stockholder of Sinclair International.
And to the next tycoon.
No way.
Thought you weren't going to let it bother you.
Well, it does bother me. Any way you put it, it's a slap in my face.
Sharon, it's your father's stock, and that makes it his decision. Look, you can't really blame him. He's not a well man. He's looking for continuity. Maggie and Eileen are close. And with Eileen running Sinclair International, he's got that continuity.
Well, I'd get rid of her in 2 seconds flat. She was nothing when my mother died. It was merely a girl Friday. Now, Maggie may have been young enough to be fooled by that ingratiating substitute mother act of hers, but not me. She never fooled me. And she's got the bottom line, that Miss Eileen Cole. She's got complete control of Sinclair International.
Don't you think that's a pretty insupportable statement? Eileen's had 25 years to work on the ambassador, but he's still leaving his stock to Maggie.
Well, of course, darling, obviously. You and Maggie, you've just always had that very special rapport. And what do you think is going to happen when my father does die? Eileen Cole is going to play her just like a violin.
You really do have a flair for the dramatic, Sharon. You see plots and intrigues everywhere. Anyway, what difference does it really make? After all, I'm legal counsel to Sinclair International.
Only one of 50 of them, darling.
And you've got enough money for 2 lifetimes. Why don't you sit back and enjoy the one you've got?
Confessions of a boneless man? Oh, you don't know what it's like to fight for anything.
Oh, yes, I do. am fighting to keep you.
Well, you're losing.
Have you tasted these spinach puffs?
No.
Oh, they're so good. These little creamy things. I'm gonna gain 20 pounds.
Why don't I get you a valise?
That reminds me, I had the most fantastic idea. Why don't we go visit them over Christmas?
Who?
Jacques and Maggie. Who else?
They live in Paris.
I know they live in Paris. That's the whole idea. Christmas in Paris. What an inspiration.
And it just came.
Well, we would have a free place to stay.
In other words, having extracted an invitation from Maggie, you have launched your campaign.
You might say that.
Mrs. McMillan, would you do me the honor?
I'd be delighted. Guard this with your life.
Oh, look at that.
Commissioner, you know him pretty well, don't you?
Yes, sir, and if you really want to know, he is corrupt. Virtually an alcoholic, has a sadistic streak a mile long, and he cheats on all of his mistresses.
That's not what I'm interested in.
I know what you're interested in. You want me to talk to him?
Exactly.
It won't do you any good.
You're sure?
I'm sure.
Probably make a lousy businessman anyway.
The worst.
I suppose he is a pretty good cut.
The best.
Do you have the time?
Well, did you launch the campaign?
I was fantastically subtle. Of course, he picked up anyway.
Don't worry about it. I'll work on him. Christmas in Paris, that is a promise.
With my plate.
I don't know.
You don't know. I'm gonna have to start another one. Will you guys excuse me?
To you and Maggie.
To the four of us. You know, Mac, Sally's a fine girl. She has a very special joie de vivre.
We've both done pretty well since the last time we saw each other.
Those were good times.
Good times.
You know something? I have a confession to make. This marriage business. I really don't know how good I'm going to be at it. No.
I am.
Yeah, but we are different. I've lived alone for so long. I've enjoyed being a hermit. Yeah. His Majesty beckons.
Run.
Yes, of course.
Commissioner McMillan? Yes? Mrs. Arnold would like you to join her on the chair.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad I caught you, Mac. Now listen, I'm going to be very direct and very obstinate.
Something about Christmas in Paris?
Aha, exactly. Now look, I've only known Sally for a very brief time, but we're very much alike and we both get what we want. So, what's the point in putting up a fuss?
Well, it sounds great, Maggie. We'd love to go, but I don't think I can project my schedule this far in advance.
You just promise me to plan on it and the rest will take care of itself. Promise?
I promise.
True.
Somebody get a doctor. I'm a doctor. Marion, my bag's in the car.
What happened?
Maggie?
Maggie.
Who's in charge here?
I am, sir.
There was another waiter here. He's blonde, average build. Where is he?
I don't know. I don't have anyone who looks like that, sir.
Ma'am. She's gone.
It ought to turn up something. There are copies posted all over town.
I want him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work on this case, Mike.
Jacques, do you think you should get involved in this?
I will do whatever is required of me.
I hope so.
Well, what have you learned about him?
Nothing. Posing as a waiter, that's all.
There's no question about it. That business of drawing you out onto the terrace was deliberate.
I didn't get it at the time, but Maggie wasn't expecting me out there. She said, "I'm glad I caught you, Mac." She wouldn't have said that if she was expecting me.
It's quite an operation. One man guides you into the target area, and the other man is waiting. Chances are they got away together.
It's my fault.
It's not true.
I didn't take Raymond Poole seriously enough.
Mac, you know as well as I do that in this business, one doesn't jump into bed and hide beneath the covers each time one's life is threatened. It's not your fault. I must be going now.
Sally will be along in a minute. Why don't you have dinner with us?
No, I'm having dinner with St. Clair. It's a difficult time for him, too.
Jacques, it's none of my business, but we all carry our grief differently, but are you all right?
Mac, my good friend, my wife has been murdered. And for me, this is the single greatest tragedy of my life. But Maggie would not want me to wallow in it. She would want me to go on and to catch her killer. And this I will do with your help. We owe that to her. And as for me, well, we will take each day, yes?
I'll get him, Jacques. I'll get Raymond Poole, I promise you.
That won't be so easy from what I've heard.
No, it won't. He's got an airtight alibi.
You know, sometimes one is tempted to apply a bit of pressure.
Except one abides by the rules.
Well, of course.
And I know back in Paris you're used to doing things your own way.
But here I'm out of my jurisdiction, right?
Don't misunderstand. I want your help very much.
I understand perfectly. When I am a guest, I always abide by the rules of my host.
That's all I ask.
You know, Mac, I can understand why you're worried about Jacques.
I'm not worried. I'm just concerned.
Well, I don't know why you let him work on the case anyway.
Because he wants to.
I know, but it was his wife that was killed. Aren't you afraid he's going to blow his cool?
I'm more concerned how he reacts when this investigation is over, when he'll have nothing to concentrate on.
Mrs. McMillan, are we going to move?
After I just spent all that money for the new drapes?
The game, it's your move.
I thought it was your move. Let's see. Mildred. Check.
I'll get it.
I frankly don't know how he has the nerve to walk the streets anyway.
Who?
Raymond Poole. He's a killer.
Not till we prove it.
Hi, Jacques.
Ah, salut.
Hi, Sergeant. Come on in.
Can I get you boys something to eat?
Un café, s'il vous plaît.
Ah, moi aussi, s'il vous plaît.
How you feeling, Jacques?
I said what?
How you feeling?
I'm fine, thank you.
I wish you would stay with us for a while.
No, no, I would only be in the way.
You would not be in the way, would he, Mag?
Well, he's a big boy. How's everything?
I'm exhausted, sir. Incidentally, Raymond Poole has been an absolute Boy Scout since we're on to him.
Mike, do you know a man named Morrison? Jake Morrison.
Jake Morrison. Hey, wasn't he associated with Poole years ago?
Yeah, they were partners.
Correct. There was a power struggle and Morrison lost.
Put it mildly.
Whatever happened to Jake Morrison?
Ask Jacques. He seems to be the current authority.
Whatever happened to Jake Morrison?
Well, thanks to your files, it seems Mr. Morrison has dropped out of sight. But perhaps if we can locate him, he just might relish the opportunity to settle an old score.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, let's find out where he is and talk to him first thing in the morning.
Bon.
Je comprends, Commissioner.
Charlie, you forever surprise me.
Merci. Actually, the good inspector here has been helping me to brush up on my French.
Sergeant, we can continue your lessons on the way back to headquarters.
Headquarters?
You must help me to locate the current address on Morrison.
Now?
But of course, if we are to get to Morrison in the morning, we must find out where he is tonight. N'est-ce pas?
Oui. Au revoir, Commissioner. Madame.
Back to the pits. See you in the morning, Mac. Bonsoir, Sally.
Where's your coffee?
There is no time, Mildred.
No time.
Well, Miss McMillan, have some coffee. Oh, short people never get a break.
Sit. Hello?
McMillan, it's been over a week and I haven't seen any results. What kind of incompetent show are you running? Do you want me to put some private detectives on the case?
I'm sorry you feel that way, Mr. Ambassador. We're looking for a killer, a very clever one. Takes time.
Well, there ought to be some results by now.
There will be.
I'll make it happen soon, Commissioner, because the next telephone call I make will be to the governor.
Not too friendly, I gather.
We're up to the ambassador. Would be in Siberia by now.
All right.
Play.
What is it again you said you could do with the horse?
Mildred, that is your knight. Now, he can move any combination of 1, 2, or 2, 1 spaces.
I thought that's what you said you do with the little soldiers here.
Pawn.
That is a pawn. Now, he can advance 1 or he can advance 2 the first time you move him.
Except to take an opponent.
Except to take an opponent.
Then you move diagonally.
Oh, yeah, then you move diagonally.
I seem to hear an echo.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to move this little fella right here.
You can't do that, Mildred.
What did I do?
Why? You can't move him sideways. I just told you.
Commissioner.
What are you asking him? You don't believe?
I'm going to bed. Good night.
How about a little two-handed poker?
Oh, well, now you're talking.
I'm going to bed.
There it is, sir.
Where's Jacques?
He said he tried to meet us here.
You're sure this is the address?
Yes, sir. I wrote it down. 1210 Grove Street.
Jake Morrison?
Well, if it is Jake Morrison, sir, it's quite a come down for a big-time racketeer.
Or maybe it's a new and beautiful Jake Morrison, huh?
Hi, may I help you, gentlemen?
Yes, I'd like to see Mr. Morrison.
Oh, hold on a minute. I'll see if he's in his office.
McMillan, what the hell does he want?
It ain't gonna be a rubdown.
Get out of here.
He doesn't seem to be in.
Why don't you try again?
Yes, sir.
Why don't he take off?
I'm not here, McMillan. Beat it.
They're coming in. Clear it! Come on over here.
Where's Morrison?
Can I help you, fellas?
Where's Morrison?
Jake, he must have left here about a half an hour ago.
About a half a minute.
Hey, where you going? Morrison ain't here.
I'm afraid that this gentleman and I collided. You are right, monsieur.
What is this?
Pardon, monsieur.
Can a guy jog around the block anymore?
You do have a sense of the dramatic, don't you, Jacques?
Oh. I don't know what's going on, but you got a case of false arrest on your hands, Commissioner.
You notice everybody's concerned with false arrest these days, Sergeant? I just want to talk to you. Why don't we go back to your office?
Who is this Frenchy guy, anyway?
Foreign exchange program.
Hitman? What are you talking about, Hitman? What would I know?
Because you're smart, Jake. You keep your eyes open.
Hey, look, I've been out of the big time 7, 8 years now. If Ray Poole wants to slug it out with the cops, let him make the papers. Me, I'm flying straight these days. I don't know from nothing.
What do you suppose this is, Charlie?
Well, sir, if I didn't know that Mr. Morrison was flying straight these days, I'd say it was a betting ticket.
Come on. That's a plant, and you guys planted it.
Did you plant it, Charlie?
No, sir.
Jacques?
Are the numbers in French?
No.
It is not mine.
Must be yours, Jake.
All I know is you hear things on the street.
No one's holding you to anything.
The word is that Poole brought in this guy from out of town. I think his name is Sable.
What else?
That's it.
Jake, Ray Poole took you over the ropes a couple of years ago. How would you like a chance to get even?
Look, I'm not saying I don't hate his guts. But Poole did me a favor, you know. My blood pressure's down 50 points from the old days.
Well, the thing is, Jake, I really need you.
Why me? I don't want to get involved. There's guys out there with meat hooks, you know.
Perhaps Monsieur Morrison would care to explain the betting slip at headquarters, Mike?
Oh, we don't want to pressure him, Jacques.
Well,
all I'm asking is that he keep his ears open and get me a light on Sable.
All right, I'll keep in touch.
You bet.
Here we go, sir.
Yes? Send him in. We finally got something on Sable out of Chicago. Full name, Thomas N.M.I. Sable, born in Cleveland, age 30. Record you wouldn't believe, in and out of everything with a wall around it.
May I?
Yeah. Quite a versatile killer. Knives, guns, explosives, even hit and run.
Animal. Is there a photograph?
Chicago's trying to dig one up, sir. It should be here no later than tomorrow.
Yeah, well, there's nothing more we can do. You coming to dinner, aren't you?
No. Huh? I'm going to do better than that.
Ha 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 ha. Sally finally got you.
She's a very persuasive woman.
You just don't want to miss anything.
Well, something like that, yes.
You can't come. Mildred.
I'm coming. Something like this takes time.
Well, what's so complicated about ice cream?
Oh, she's making something special. Where's your patience?
Oh, yeah, something special. The last time I had something special she made, I was on bicarbonate for 2 weeks.
I heard that.
Okay, 1 week.
Well, I don't know whether to serve this or have it bronzed.
Wow.
Incroyable.
What is this goo?
You know, Commissioner, I hate to say this, but sometimes you have the sophistication of a par kettle.
Mildred, pay no attention to the commissioner. It looks superb.
Well, we'll give it the famous taste test. Oh, Mildred, you have done it again. No wonder half the crowned heads of Europe worship at your feet.
As I do at yours, talented lady.
Now, you see, him I like.
Whatever happened to good old ice cream?
Mildred's being creative.
Then let her vacuum something.
This is English trifle, and it's delicious.
I know what trifle is. I just didn't recognize it.
Par kettle, I told you. How about a little more for those who appreciate three-star cuisine?
Superb, mes absolutement superb. Mademoiselle, may I kiss your hand? Oh, dear.
There are rewards in this job. Bon appetit, Inspector.
Merci.
And bon appetit to almost everyone else.
She's fantastic.
She is for sale. Excuse me. Hello?
Commissioner McMillan?
Yes?
I wonder if you remember me, Alan Joyce?
Yes, of course.
Good. My wife and I would like to talk to you. We think, well, that is, Sharon in particular thinks it could be very important.
How about tomorrow morning in my office, say around 10:30?
That'll be fine. Thank you, Commissioner. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Who was that, Mac?
Nobody. Departmental meeting.
Huh.
Well, I think I'll try some of this goo. I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Too late. I see you have capitulated.
I have not capitulated. I have, however, in a moment of weakness, decided to try it.
Ah, well, very well. Tell me what you think, and don't spare my feelings.
I think I'll have some eggs. Where are the eggs?
Move over, Commissioner. I'll do it. How do you like your eggs?
Mildred, I have been known to cook an egg or two in my time. In fact, on those frequent days when you have off, I have perfected a 3-star fried egg and a toasted muffin, which is, in a word, superb.
Would you deign to let me toast the muffin?
Won't you?
Sweet. Ah, last one.
One does not slice the English muffin. One separates it in two, thusly.
Does one? How nice. Except these won't fit in our toaster.
One puts it in the oven. Are we out of eggs again?
Look in the 7-day meat keeper.
One hesitates to ask why eggs are kept in a 7-day meat keeper. Oh. Mildred.
Now, let me guess. You are looking for the frying pan.
Check.
Under the sink.
Why on earth is everything in this kitchen secreted in cupboards and drawers 12 inches from the floor?
I'll tell you what. The next time you're out shopping for a housekeeper, get one that's 6'4", will you? And then everything will be nice and high, just the way you like it.
Is Inspector Arnault up yet?
Oh, up and out with crack of dawn. Want to know what he had for breakfast?
No.
Omelette a la Mildred. You know, he's quite a guy. And I don't say that because he thinks I'm talented, witty, intelligent, and attractive, and appealingly diminutive.
But it helps.
Oh, it don't hurt.
Mildred.
Oh, say, I am sorry about that.
And I had my heart set on fried eggs and toasted muffins.
Yeah, well, why don't you just have the eggs with a side of trifle?
Blah.
You are a picky eater, aren't you? Listen, I think this must have fallen out of his luggage.
I'll give it back to him.
You don't suppose he left that behind for me to find, do you? Sort of a romantic symbol?
I doubt it.
Me too.
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Joyce are here, sir.
Send them in. Morning.
Good morning. I think you remember Sharon?
Yes, nice to see you again.
Commissioner?
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Please sit down.
Thank you. Frankly, Commissioner, Sharon's the one who prompted this visit. But I guess you know the Sinclairs are a stubborn bunch.
So I've heard.
Alan takes most things a bit less seriously than I do, Commissioner. But I think these are well worth you looking into.
They're extracts of stock purchases, Commissioner. Recently, I discovered that a rather large amount of Sinclair stock had been acquired by various holding companies. When Sharon learned about it, she became a little upset.
Very upset. Every one of those holding companies is owned by Raymond Poole.
Poole? Why would he be interested in Sinclair stock?
That's exactly the question. Why? Unless he's acquiring a voice in the company. A big voice.
Well, I thought control of the company was vested in the family.
Well, that's true, but it's a very divided family, Commissioner. Myself and Eileen Cole. My father really isn't a factor in this. Eileen administers his stock. But with his 20% and Eileen's 8%, Miss Eileen Cole has a great deal of power.
Are you trying to tell me that Miss Cole is quietly selling off her father's stock?
Of course. The same stock that Raymond Poole is buying up just as fast as it hits the market.
Well, I'm a little confused. I mean, what you're telling me is not a police matter. Why don't you talk to your father or Miss Cole?
Well, that's what I've been saying right along. I still think that Eileen Cole ought to be given a chance to state her case.
I am not interested in what Eileen Cole has to say. I'm sure you understand, Commissioner, that I am not fond of Eileen Cole, but that's not the point. I am convinced that she is no less responsible for Maggie's death than Raymond Poole.
That's a very strong accusation.
Not really. Not if Eileen Cole and Raymond Poole are conspiring to take over the company. You see my point, Commissioner? If I'm right, then the one situation that neither one of them can afford is that court case now pending against Poole. And you know why? Because in the course of the trial, Poole's stock purchases are bound to come out. And you know what's going to happen to Sinclair International when that hits the market? The whole bottom's going to drop right out.
In other words, what Sharon's suggesting is that Poole and Eileen Cole conspired to kill you in order to kill the case.
I'm sure of it.
It's nothing but a theory, Sharon. It's a bit unseemly, isn't it? Hanging out the family wash on the heels of Maggie's death?
If my sister was killed because of a power-grabbing scheme of Eileen Cole, don't you think it ought to be hung out on the wash?
Well, I don't like it.
No, of course not. You don't like anything that disturbs your status quo.
I'm quite sure the commissioner isn't interested in our bickering, Sharon.
No. But I'm sure he's interested in justice. Commissioner, there is nothing that I can do with that information. If I go to my father, well, he'll just think I'm acting out of spite and listen to anything that Eileen Cole tells him. And if I go to her, well, she'll just give me a twisted story and then go and cry on my father's shoulder. Commissioner, I'm asking you for your help.
May I keep these?
Of course.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes, indeed.
Let me see your license. Oh, it's you, sir. What's going on?
Crazy driver.
Yes.
Ambassador,
Well,
I'd like to talk to you.
unless you can show some progress, there's nothing to talk about.
You shouldn't be up, Jason.
Perhaps I've come at the wrong time.
Nothing wrong with right now, nothing wrong with me.
Well, you're not going to prove anything by standing out. The doctor wants you off your feet.
What can he be expected to say? He's paid to make mountains out of molehills. Oh, don't worry about me. This is just one of those little scares that God likes to throw at 73-year-old men. What did you want to see me about, Commissioner?
Well, actually, I wanted to talk to you both. What do you know about Raymond Poole?
Well, I know he's the lowest form of reptile on this earth.
Are you aware that he's been buying up Sinclair stock?
Poole?
Well, there's no way of controlling the sale of common stock. Now, I'm sure you're aware of that, Commissioner.
Frankly, it's been suggested to me that he's been buying family-owned stock.
That's a lie! A lie! Do you hear me?
Anyone.
Sorry, I didn't know you were so ill when I called.
He's been like that since Maggie. We don't know if it's going to get any better. Why don't we go into my office? It's just in the other wing.
Impressive.
It's an unlikely place to headquarter a company. But the ambassador likes to know it's close. Even though he rarely visits this part of the house. You were right about Raymond Poole. He has acquired a good deal of Sinclair stock. Family-owned stock.
That's straight enough. Mind telling me why?
Simplest of reasons. Company needs cash. In order to raise it, I floated a certain amount of privately held stock. But I think there's something that you ought to understand right now. That until this week, I had no idea that the purchasing company that bought the stock was owned by Poole. Let's get down to brass tacks, Commissioner. You wouldn't be here unless you suspected some sort of conspiracy between Poole and Sinclair International. And more specifically, between Poole and me. Well, no such conspiracy exists. If it did, I could easily have manipulated the sale of the ambassador stock rather than my own. The money paid for the stock has been turned over as a personal loan from me. As for Raymond Poole, well, he seems to be investing pretty heavily in the market these days. He's simply happened to invest in Sinclair International. That's all there is to that.
I'll say one thing, Miss Cole. If you were planning on taking over the company, this would be a pretty poor way to go about it.
Commissioner, there's nothing in this world that I would do to hurt Justin Sinclair. We've had a long and unique association. It's coming to an end. When he goes, I'm going to make Sharon Joyce very happy. I'm going to leave without a word. She did come to you, didn't she? It's funny. Sharon has always thought of me as some sort of a power-mad interloper. I never wanted all of this. Well, when the ambassador dies, it's all going to be Sharon's. And I won't miss it a bit.
You had this all ready for me, didn't you?
Well, it was ready for someone. When I discovered that Poole had been buying up our stock, I knew there was room for a misunderstanding, particularly from Sharon. Yes? Oh, just a minute. It's for you, Commissioner.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Jake Morrison just called in, sir. He's got something.
I'll be there in 30 minutes. Thank you, Miss Cole. You've been very helpful.
Well, I'll walk you to the door.
No, no, that's not necessary. I know how busy you are. I'll find my way out.
How are you feeling?
Never mind me. Has McMillan gone?
He just left. I think you're being a little hard on him, Justin. He's doing his job.
Accusing us of being in cahoots with Raymond Poole? You call that doing his job?
Oh, it's all been taken care of. He made an honest mistake.
If I thought a man like Poole owned 5 cents worth of Sinclair, I'd never get another night's sleep.
I don't want you to do anything. So just take care of yourself.
Oh, they haven't been all bad, have they? 15 years.
Granary?
That's Jake's new lifestyle, sir.
Any sign of Inspector Arnault?
No, sir, not since this morning. He mentioned something about renting a car. I think he went on out to the cemetery, sir.
Oh. Did you leave him a message?
Yeah, I left a note telling him we'd be here and to meet us here if we got back in time. Oh, and Commissioner, we really lucked out, sir. Chicago sent us a picture of Sable.
Aha. Good.
Commissioner? Here.
Ah, thank you.
Try the number 3 plate. Terrific. Natural. Everything natural. A healthy body and a healthy mind. You know what I mean?
You're a model of self-improvement, Jake.
It's all part of the spiritual thing. Everything clean, wholesome.
Too bad they didn't serve that back in reform school.
I got a little something for you, but there's no guarantees that go with it.
Yeah.
23 Castle Street, apartment 4J. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
We'll see you again, Jake.
Do me a favor, huh? Don't make it too quick.
Tail?
Let's find out. He's pretty good. All right, if he wants to catch us.
Maybe he lost us.
Either that or he's pretty smart. One way or another, we can't sit around here all day.
Well, I'll be damned.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. We have this continuing problem of affecting a rendezvous, do we not?
What were you doing tailing us?
My dear Mac, I am trying to explain that I have not been tailing you. I received the sergeant's note. I drove to the restaurant. I arrived just when you were leaving. I followed your tortured and paranoid path, and now I am here to join you. Okay? Now, this Morrison, you have some news?
An address? It might be Sable's.
Then what are we waiting for? Qu'est-ce que c'est?
It's yours, isn't it?
I don't deny it, yes.
It's a magnesium-tipped bullet. It not only kills people, it tears people apart.
I know what it can do,
we
Mac,
can't use it
all
here.
right?
It's against the law. Now, I may feel the same way you do, but I'm trying to run a police department, not a private club for revenge. Do I make myself clear?
Sergeant? Could you check the clip for me, if you please?
They're not mag tips, sir. They're straight slugs.
Mac. This one is a souvenir. I've had it for years.
I'm sorry.
Ça ne fait rien. Well, let us go, huh? No. Your car. Mine costs 12 cents a mile.
The French? Charlie, cover the rear. We'll go in through the front.
You all right?
Yeah. We just heard from Mr. Sable.
What was it, Mac?
Hand grenade. Opening the door primed it. Not the most original booby trap ever made, but pretty effective.
Seems I owe you something, Mac. Thank you.
One thing's certain, Sable didn't set this up by himself.
Morrison?
Let's go pay him a visit.
Me? How do you figure me?
Because you're the guy that sent us there.
That's crazy. You think I'd set you up and still be sitting here? I'd be in Alaska by now.
Not if you didn't expect us to live.
Look, McMillan, you squeeze me and I go out and I hustle up information. And I told you right out there was no guarantee on it. How do you think I feel? I was taken too, you know.
By whom?
Don't worry, I'll take care of you.
I'm not interested in your pride. I want to know who it is.
I put the word out on the street. At first, nothing. And then this guy I know comes up with the address. And it cost me $100. A guy named Angie Green.
Where's he live?
On the other side of Golden Gate Park.
All right. You go first this time.
He floats around. Maybe he's not even there.
Let's take a chance.
A guy could get killed, you know. Thing I can't figure out is this guy's been solid. He comes to you with something and you go with it.
I know Angie Green. He served 2 times for burglary. He's a runner, a dealer, a pimp, you name it.
In other words, a quality citizen. Just the kind you can depend on. Excuse me, please. Angie Green?
Yeah, that's him.
Not very popular, was he? Who's she?
His girlfriend. She lives here.
You're the police? I called the police.
Yeah, what happened?
She came home from work a little while ago. Found him just the way you see him. She started screaming. I came in. Then I called the police.
Mac.
Yeah. We'll have the lab take it.
What's wrong?
The waiter at the party, who was missing, remember? He was tied in with Sable right from the beginning.
Right up to the end.
Yeah. Let's take a look around. Jack? Find anything?
McMillan, you find yourself another seeing-eye dog. This guy Sable's a maniac, and maybe he ain't too happy with me. You know what I mean?
He won't hurt you. You don't know enough.
Yeah? I don't see it in writing. So if you want to lock me up, that's okay. Otherwise, I'm getting out of this place for a while.
All right, you can go. Two links to Sable, and they both turned out to be Angie Green. Now he's dead.
Back where we started.
Yeah.
We have nothing.
Let's go back to the office.
No, you go ahead, Mac. I have the rental car to pick up, and perhaps I'll walk for a while.
He just said it. We got nothing. Well, I know something we can do. Get the word out on the streets. The police are planning a series of massive raids and arrests. The whole city is going to be turned upside down. It's going to stay that way until Sable is out of the way. Use every pipeline you can. That'll flush him out.
Yeah? Commissioner? I put the word out on the street, sir. Within an hour, any punk willing to sell a rumor for $10 will be spreading the word that Sable is a very hot ticket.
Good.
Maybe we'll get lucky for a change.
Yeah, maybe. Anything from the lab on Angie Green?
Well, we don't have a detailed analysis yet, but the preliminary report isn't terrific either. Whoever killed Angie Green knew exactly what he was doing.
Like Sable, for instance?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's not Sable.
Why not?
It doesn't make any sense. Why would he kill Angie?
Sable killed Green because he knew that Green was going to nail him to save his own skin.
Mob will kill him if he did that.
Commissioner, Sable wasn't brought to San Francisco for a sightseeing tour. When I told you there was a contract out on you, I had that information from a very reliable source.
I don't doubt that.
Well, then you've got to believe that it was Raymond Poole who hired Sable and that this whole thing is Poole's game.
Are you trying to tell me this is a pool game?
Oh, sir. I'd never say a thing like that.
If it is, he's not the only player, and that's your cue.
Speaking of players, sir, have you heard from Jacques?
No, not since we left Angie Green's.
I hated to see him go off all depressed like that.
Oh, he's not depressed.
Well, he wasn't exactly doing a tap dance, sir.
When Jacques depressed, he's all over the place, looking for clues, searching through files, anything that'll give him a lead.
Do you think he knows something and he isn't telling us?
Possible.
Well, I know he's our friend, sir, but I'm going to put a tail on him.
No. He's too good.
Well, what are we supposed to do? Wait around here until he makes a move?
You can wait around here.
Where are you going?
Home? I'll wait around there.
Pool game?
Thank you. Your Paris-France party is on the line.
Merci, operator. Alors, Gervais.
Inspector, is that you?
Listen to me, Gervais. This is very important. Do you know the jeweler Chantier and Company in La Place Vendôme?
Reputation, sir. My salary provides little reason to visit the establishment.
It is absolutely vital that you contact Monsieur Chantier himself. Have him check his records and find out who purchased the platinum lighter. Leaf Design.
Numbers D as in the V, 27. 27. Do you have that?
Yes, sir. I'll check it out first thing in the morning.
Now, Gervais. It must be done now.
Sir, it's 2 a.m. in Paris. What can be done at this hour?
I don't know, but there's only one way to find out.
Hi.
Hi.
You're early. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like I'm in for a long, moody evening. What happened?
We were close to something. Really close. Now I'm back to square one.
Well, shoot. Where's Jacques?
Well, he ought to be along in a minute.
You know, you were right. He is amazing. I can't believe the way he's taking everything so well.
I don't know. He's too quiet. He defers to my authority. He's always there. He's not like him. I'm afraid that he'll go off like a time bomb once all this is settled.
He's a pro. You told me that yourself.
The shock is beginning to wear off. He's getting, I don't know what it is, angry. I don't know. It scares me. I'm beat.
You want a drink?
Yes. Triple martini. What's for dinner?
Funny you should ask about dinner, Commissioner. It's only 5 o'clock.
Go get the drink.
What's so funny about that?
Well, last night I said, Mildred, lift these people on wings of your culinary genius. And what was the result? A 3-star trifle.
I know. Crowned heads of Europe and all that.
But tonight I didn't have the call.
You didn't have the call.
I didn't make dinner.
No dinner.
Well, of course there's dinner. It ought to be here any minute.
You are not going to say...
Fender's Fish and Chips.
She said it anyway. Fender's Fish and Chips. Cheers.
Hello. Yes, this is he.
Inspector, absolutely no luck, sir. I finally got through to Madame Chantier. It seems Monsieur Chantier is out of town. Madame said he'd be back in the shop by morning.
Doesn't she know where he is?
Well, not really, sir. She is convinced that Monsieur Chantier is with his mistress, whom she does not know, but whom she intends to shoot at some future date.
Contact Monsieur Chantier the first thing when he arrives in the morning. When you have something, call me at 536-6674, Commissioner McMillan's home number. And don't worry about the time. Call me.
Inspector, is something seriously wrong?
Good night, Gervais.
Is it that bad?
It's not that good.
You should have stuck with a salad like me.
What'd you expect for $5?
For $5, even ptomaine would be chewable.
Okay, I'll get something to wash it down.
I'll get. Hello? Who is this? It's for you.
Who is it?
Mac and Sable.
Sable. Yes?
Ah, my name's Sable. You want to make a deal, McMillan?
When? Why not now? Right, Pier 31. Got it.
What did he say?
Wants to meet me, make a deal.
Well, you're not thinking of doing it. Mac, it's crazy to think about that. Sable is the killer. It's just about dark outside. He's setting up a trap.
Oh, he knows I'm not stupid enough to walk into a trap. A man like Sable exists in the darkness, yet he telephones me for a meeting in the daylight. Why?
Because he's thinking that you'll be thinking the way you're thinking. That's why he's going to catch you off your guard.
No, the pressure's too strong. So much so he's willing to expose himself to make a deal.
You're not going to go there alone.
No, call in right. Have him meet me at Pier 31.
Aren't you forgetting something?
What?
Your black mask and silver bullets.
Well, I thought I'd leave him at home since my horse is in the shop.
Come on, I'm serious, Mac. Why would you go alone when you've got the whole San Francisco police force to help you?
Don't come on too strong. We'll scare him off.
How could Red Riding Hood have been so very good and still kept the wolf from the door? Father and mother, she had none. So where in the world did the money come from? Pray let me ask it, who filled her basket? The storybooks never tell. Bum, bum, bum. They say that she was the nicest of girls. Bum, 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 bum.
Come on, Sergeant.
Hello? Hello?
Jacques, I'm so glad glad you're back.
What happened?
Listen, Sable called. He wanted to make a deal. Mac went to meet him.
Tell me where.
You'll never find it alone. I'll take you there. I better try Sergeant Enright one more time before we go.
Hello? What? Yeah, I got it. I'll be right there, Mrs. McMillan.
There's Mac's car. He must be on the pier.
Sally, I want you to leave.
Oh, no. No way.
Please keep out of sight and lock the car.
Good luck, Jacques.
Thank you. Hey, Mac! Look out!
Get back in the car, Sally! Call an ambulance! Hey! Drop it!
Commissioner, Mrs. McMillan said that she and Inspector Arnaud were on their way here. Where are they, sir?
She's back at Pier 31. She's all right, but Sable here just shot the inspector.
Wait a minute, I didn't shoot anybody. You got it all wrong.
I saw it.
You didn't see anything. I'm telling you, I waited in my car outside the pier till maybe 5 minutes ago, just in case you had an army crawling around the place. Finally, I go onto the barge by that big crane. First thing I hear, somebody's blasting away. What do you expect me to do? I go back to my car. Next thing I know, you're on my back.
Commissioner, this gun hasn't been fired.
Sure. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I didn't hit anybody back there. I'm telling you, I didn't hit Angie Green either. I didn't hit Sinclair's daughter. Somebody is running around this town with a hot gun. They're throwing it on my head.
I suppose you didn't know anything about a contract on me.
Oh, yeah, sure, I knew about that. Poole brought me in on it, but not as a hit. I was just supposed to make you a little nervous.
Okay, you did your job. You made me nervous. Now, why this setup?
Huh. Because the man wanted another push. And when the man wants another push, you do what the man wants. You know what I mean, Commissioner? You know what I mean.
Cuff him. Is he gonna make it?
We don't know yet.
Intensive care. Just a moment. It's for you, Commissioner.
Me?
Same woman.
Oh, it's Mildred. Why don't you take it?
Hi, Mildred. Wait a minute. Do you have a pencil and paper I could borrow? Sure. We don't know yet. We're still waiting to hear. Okay. Uh-huh. Slow down low. Lighter? Do you leave a number? Okay, I'll call you if anything happens, okay. That was Mildred. She just got a call from Paris. Somebody named Andre Gervais.
That's Jacques' assistant. I've met him. How would he know Jacques was hurt?
Well, he didn't, not until Mildred told him. Now, the way Mildred explains it, Gervais was returning Jacques' call. Jacques had asked him to check on something, a lighter. He said it was very important.
A lighter?
A platinum lighter. Now, he described it to him. He told him to go to an exclusive jeweler's in Paris and check it out. He did. Now he's got the information, but he doesn't know what to do with it because Jacques can't talk to him. He thought maybe you might be able to help him.
I have no idea. Whatever it is, it has to do with Maggie's murder.
Well, I think Jacques has stumbled onto something.
Maybe it has to do with... Did Gervais leave a number?
Yeah, Elise 9333.
Nurse, may I make a phone call, please?
Yes, of course.
Operator. Yes, I'd like to make a call to Paris, please. Elise 9333. Person to Mr. Andre Gervais. Yes, this is a police emergency. This is Commissioner McMillan calling. I'd like the call charged to my office, extension 4321. Remember this a minute. Nurse, may I see Inspector Arnaud's personal effects, please?
I thought I used a gun.
Andre! McMillan! Fine, thank you. How are you? Platinum lighter. Leaf design.
Yes, that's the lighter. Apparently, the inspector found it in someone's apartment. The apartment of someone who was killed.
MG Green. Nothing. Go on.
I visited the jewelry shop this morning. It seems the lighter was one of two items purchased that day by Madame Arnaud. The other was a necklace, also engraved with a leaf design.
Who did you say that was?
Madame Arnaud. Of course, this was some time before she and the inspector were married, so perhaps I should have said Mademoiselle Sinclair. In any event, the necklace was purchased for herself. The lighter was sent out as a gift.
A gift? Do you know to whom? Oh, you're sure? You're not mistaken. Well, all right, thank you. What? Yes, I'll let you know. Yes, thank you, Andre. Goodbye.
He's not mistaken about whose name.
Doctor.
Oh, Commissioner, we got the bullet out. It's gonna be close. We won't know anything for a few hours.
Oh, no,
Oh, Commissioner. How's the inspector doing?
Well, the bullet's out. That's about all. We have to go someplace. Charlie, can you stay here for a while?
I'll be fine.
Oh, wait, I forgot. I got the egg salad that you wanted. They only had tuna fish on egg
Charlie.
bread. There's a submarine in there for me.
Enright.
I couldn't get any pickles.
Make sure no one touches the submarine, Sergeant.
Where are we going?
Ambassador, sorry to bother you again.
Let me do the apologizing, Commissioner. I've been pretty crusty. We heard about Jacques. How is he?
He's out of the operating room. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed.
When does it stop? Are we destroying whole families these days?
Ambassador, we're starting to get some of the answers, but a lot of what we don't know revolves around this lighter. Some time ago, Maggie bought this lighter in Paris. Do you recognize it?
Of course. She sent it to me for my birthday. Must have been 2 or 3 years ago. What is it? I don't understand.
Maggie's murderer had an accomplice. The accomplice ended up with that lighter. How did he get it?
I didn't keep it. The doctor ordered me to stop smoking, so I gave it away.
Come on in. It's not locked.
All right, come in here. Why did you do it? What could you possibly hope to gain?
It wasn't what I had to gain. It's what I stood to lose. My wife was going to leave me. She said I was a loser. I wanted to prove to her she was wrong. You see, with Maggie gone, my wife would have inherited everything. And then, you see, I would have told her I'd kill Maggie. To show her I wasn't weak. And that I'd done it for her. You do see, don't you, Commissioner? I only did it for my wife.
She was right. You are a loser.
Do you know what time it is, Mac?
Time for the rooster to crow.
I'm still wide awake.
Yeah, so am I.
You know, there's one thing I still don't understand. You know the waiter that was killed, Arnie Green?
Angie
Green. How did he get the lighter?
Well, to begin with, he was a compulsive thief. Joyce thought he'd lost it. Green grabbed it when they had one of their meetings.
Alan Joyce. I still can't believe it. He's so mild and inoffensive.
Sometimes those are the people you have to worry about. Killing Maggie gave him a new lease on life.
Boy, when he set that booby trap, he must have been in seventh heaven.
A very sick seventh heaven.
How did he know you were meeting Sable? You know, if Jacques hadn't shown up when he did, you would have been Alan Joyce's third victim. And Sable would have been blamed again.
I think it was merely a lot of pressure building up. Thought it was time to get rid of me.
What's going to happen to Poole?
For one thing, he's got an indictment in the works, plus a new star witness to testify. Sable. Yes. Yes, the hospital. We'll be right there.
Hello, Jacques.
très bien.
Me too. We did it. We finally worked together. You know, Mac, I was thinking, the night of the party, remember when I told you I had doubts about marriage? You were right. Would have worked out fine.
That's it, Commissioner. I shouldn't have let you in there.
Listen, Mildred sends her love, and she says you better hurry up and get better because she's working on a 5-star menu.
Oh, good. She can make up for Fender's fish and chips.
Well, you're not. Well, it's still early. You want to go home and cuddle?
Or we can go down to the wharf, have a nice, huge breakfast. Here. Call her.
Tails.